Sports presents World Championship Boxing.
The following is a presentation of HBO Sports.
Jermaine Taylor's time is here and now.
He pulled it off, and the long reign of Bernard Hopkins is over.
Back-to-back wins over longtime middleweight champion Bernard Hopkins proclaimed to the boxing world that the future had indeed arrived.
Right hand landed for Taylor. And another one. Sudden rally for the Arkansas kid. You got a brand new star in boxing, the king of the middleweight division.
Tonight, standing in Taylor's way, is former 154-pound kingpin, Winky Wright.
There have been moments when Winky Wright is toying with the great Shane Mosley.
Wright's 2 wins over Shane Mosley opened eyes, but it was his domination of the legendary Felix Trinidad that solidified Winky as a true middleweight contender.
Vito Trinidad can't stop Winky Wright's jab. There's no way. Winky Wright makes his statement. Who's next?
Tonight, the 2 best middleweights on the planet collide live on HBO. But first up, for over a decade, he was the preeminent middleweight in the sport. But last Saturday night, Bernard Hopkins made the leap to light heavyweight, take on the division's best, Antonio Tarver.
There's a hard left hand by Tarver as Hopkins walked in.
Bigger, stronger, legend killer. None of that mattered to Hopkins.
There's a thudding right hand from Hopkins that hurt Tarver. Hopkins presses his advantage and tries to knock Tarver out.
Up next, the masterpiece farewell fight for Bernard Hopkins, followed by Jermaine Taylor and Winky Wright for middleweight supremacy. Championship boxing is back in high definition from the FedEx Forum in steamy Memphis, Tennessee. First up tonight, a replay from last Saturday night. The night on which Bernard Hopkins put an exclamation point on his Hall of Fame career with a thorough 12-round systematic annihilation of light heavyweight king Antonio Tarver. Then live, we'll have the much-anticipated fight for the top spot in the middleweight division between the champion, Jermaine Taylor, and top-rated challenger, Winky Wright. Hello again, everybody. I'm Jim Lampley, and welcome to this landmark edition of HBO's World Championship Boxing. Later on tonight, live here at the FedEx Forum in Memphis, perhaps the most important prize fight of the year for American boxing fans, because challenger Winky Wright already ranks as the number 2 pound-for-pound fighter in the sport, but the fighter he'll be taking on, Jermaine Taylor, could put himself in a position to rank right along with Floyd Mayweather Jr. as one of the most important American fighters for the next several years of competition if he can win tonight. Interestingly, when the fight was first made a few months ago, Wright was regarded as the favorite. But in the past several days, the odds have shifted dramatically in favor of young Taylor, who is now a significant betting favorite in the fight. Why? Partially because of what Bernard Hopkins did to Antonio Tarver last Saturday night. Let's switch our attention right now to what took place a week ago and get ready to go back on videotape for the fight which Hopkins established in advance would be the last of his illustrious career. The fight in which he moved up 15 pounds in weight to take on the man regarded as the best light heavyweight in the world off his conquests of Roy Jones and Glenn Johnson, Antonio Tarver. Tarver was a 3-1 betting favorite in the fight. It meant nothing losing to Hopkins, as you are about to see. Let's go back to sold-out Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City, an enthusiastic and enraptured Hopkins supporting crowd, and the way I called the fight in company with Emmanuel Stewart and Larry Merchant. Tail of the tape for Antonio Tarver and Bernard Hopkins. You see the 4-year age advantage for Tarver. They are both, by boxing standards, antiquities. Tarver is a tall light heavyweight at 6'2". Hopkins was an extraordinarily tall middleweight at 6'1". There's a 2.5-inch arm length advantage for Tarver, measured from the armpit to the end of the fist. That could be significant in the fight. He has the better, more frequently used jab anyway. They both weighed in yesterday looking 174, and incidentally, wait till you see Hopkins' new light heavyweight body. It is spectacular. Built with the help of Mackie Shilstone, who of course is legendary in the sport for what he did in the past with Michael Spinks and with Roy Jones when they went up to heavyweight. Tonight, unofficially, Tarver weighs 187. Surprisingly, at least to these eyes, Hopkins rehydrated overnight up to 182. Remember, Bernard has fought quite frequently at 161, 164, tonight 182 pounds. Let's look at the rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Antonio Tarver Bernard Hopkins fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules of the Association of Boxing Commissions. There is no 3 knockdown rule. The referee or the doctor can stop the fight. In case the cut is caused by an accidental headbutt, we go to the scorecards after 4 rounds have been completed, and you cannot be saved by the bell in any round, including the 12th and final round.
And on the surface, certainly it appears, seldom will you see two sleeker, better conditioned light heavyweights as they get into the ring with each other. My first big question, will Hopkins risk enough to give himself a chance to win the fight?
Right away, Hopkins is showing what he said was going to be, to try to make Tarver fight a small man's fight by making him move all the time, jump on him, rough him up.
And right away, Antonio Tarver begins to throw his jab much more frequently than Hopkins, which is something we expected.
When Tarver came out, to me, it started to set the tempo right away. He started to move and Bernard back with a half-hesitant type pawing and parrying type jab. And that's what he said he wants to do, was to get Bernard to move him back, and he's doing that.
And there's Tarver's big left hand over the top, and there's Hopkins' counter right hand, so they've shown you their best punches already. For Tarver, the big weapon is that left hand right there. And for Hopkins, the straight right hand counter in return.
Bernard looks very, very strong at this weight, and I've always felt, even when he was fighting at 160, he always looked very drawn to me when we would meet him and have weigh-in meetings with him. And I think this is more of a proper weight for him anyway.
His trainer, Nassim Richardson, whispered to me in Las Vegas a few weeks ago, if Bernard hadn't been running like a fanatic all these years, he might have been a light heavyweight some time ago.
I think it's only not normal for him to be this weight, so that's why I don't see much of a big disadvantage at fight 174 or 75 for him.
Well, as we mentioned, the Mackie Shilstone sculpted body looks terrific. Body shot by Hopkins. Tarver still looking to jab and set up a left hand. Wants to make a statement here in the first round, and perhaps might be thinking in the back of his mind about his bet that he'll knock out Hopkins within the first 5 rounds and collect an extra $250,000.
I think what's in his mind, Jim, is that he has to go after the naturally smaller man who has never faced anyone as big and strong as he is.
When they face each other from this range, it looks as though Tarver's height differential is bigger than 1 inch, but Hopkins was the one who popped in the short right hand.
Yeah, Tarver fights big, but Bernard is bending down a lot, which makes it look like he's much smaller. Because Bernard likes to throw a punch at you and then run in with his head at the same time anyway, so he's always bent his head down when he punches. Tarver's body position is very good. Even though he hasn't did anything, he's in great position, maintaining good balance to fire his left hand.
Bernard ducking under Tarver's attempt to throw the left. They grapple at close range. There's a lot of grappling in some Hopkins fights, and this first round has had 3 or 4 grappling sessions already. War of nerves.
Keep the heat on him. He's going to go for the home run with the right hand. Okay? Every time he throws the right hand, he's going for the home run with it. He's going to try left hook down here. That's what we got to do. Look at me, baby. Keep the jab going. Stop worrying about the head with the left hand. Start shooting the left hand to his chest and to his body.
React to everything. Just keep him responding. Just keep him excellent. What'd you see, John?
No, nice one. This boy has no legs. He has no legs. He's touching him inside.
We are stronger. We are stronger. Our feints will get us there. Our jab is still working.
Way down, just wipe out the corner.
Make our investment.
Keep my eye on him.
Right there, baby.
Be smart.
Where you see Bernard banging him to the hip on the opposite side where the referee can't see, and then a little uppercut. As I said, he knows all of the tricks of the game.
He's brilliant at holding you with one arm on the side away from the referee and popping little body shots in. He's not too bad at getting your head under his arm and managing to hit you a few times before you get broken.
Right.
CompuBox numbers in one, Tarver only 3 out of 28 and Hopkins only 6 out of 27 as they were feeling each other out. More grappling, more holding on one side and hitting on the other. Tarver seems unruffled by this so far.
No, he seems to be keeping his composure. He seems to be just pawing with his jab, landing up, trying to shoot that straight left hand of his.
You heard Buddy McGirt tell Tarver he's going to go for the home run every time with the right hand.
My break.
Tarver's home run punch is, of course, his big left hand over the top, although he hurt Roy Jones with a right hook in the 11th round of their third fight. Looping left hook by Hopkins there. Tarver taking his time and still searching for opportunities. There's a hard left hand by Tarver as Hopkins walked in.
That's the punch that he's been trying to set him up for all night long. And he's going to continue. He's very focused on this one particular punch that he's trying to land. And that's the short left hand.
By Hopkins.
But everything that Hopkins is doing, he's having to lunge and run to do it. In the meantime,
one punch.
Antonio just pawing and pawing.
Throwing one punch at a time.
Right hand by Hopkins again. Another right hand by Hopkins. That one landed and bothered Tarver. And a third right hand lands for Hopkins.
There's a flurry.
And suddenly Bernard is taking over this round with a series of clean right hands. Southpaw against a right-hand fighter. Hopkins should be able to land his straight right hand down the pipe from time to time, just as Tarver should be able to land his straight left.
But you know, Bernard is actually throwing a straight right, and sometimes he throws it in like a right hook. He's mixing it up, which is very smart. That way, Antonio can't anticipate what position to hold his left hand in to block.
Tarver almost got a chance at a left cross, and Hopkins ducked away. Hopkins partially ducks that left hand. Tarver got in a scraping blow. 2 body shots by Antonio. Bernard moves back away. Body shot by Hopkins.
Bernard better be careful running in. Don't get caught with that right hook of Tarver, too. The same thing that Roy Jones got caught with.
5 seconds.
Tarver hasn't really thrown the right hook yet. It's been mostly jab left cross for Tarver, and Hopkins straight right hand.
Just like that, baby.
Everybody else might be surprised. Everybody else might be shocked. But it's real simple, baby. That feint is just like a punch. He can't keep working. He can't maintain your momentum. He can't keep this pace. So he's going to wait.
Thursday, June 20, catch the next installment of Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel. Among the stories, an investigative look at the link between coal power plant pollution and kids who can't play sports due to asthma.
She putting that pressure on him. Don't let him get brave.
Okay.
All right, come on, baby.
How we looking?
All right, we're looking good, but you let him get away with too much stuff.
Okay.
You got to keep that heat on him.
Okay.
All right, be smart. Make him miss, make him pay.
Okay.
To the body.
Okay.
Don't worry about that head jab. All right, let's start putting some of those jabs now.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
You saw the power punch numbers from CompuBox. Hopkins with a pretty good round, landing 9 of 27, mostly working that straight right hand, and occasionally, as Emmanuel Stewart points out, sweeping it, bringing it in a broad circle, a slightly different angle from the way he normally throws the punch. There's a left hook up top by Bernard Hopkins, catches Tarver on the cheek.
And when they get closer in those changes, you notice Bernard always has his feet in better position, and Tarver's legs, even though he's the conventional southpaw, seems to be all crossed up.
How would you describe Hopkins' style, Emmanuel?
I think right now he's fighting his typical type of cautious type, picking his punches, not wasting anything. He's trying to pick, duck, stay out of the way, and land just 1 or 2 clean punches, enough to win the fight without taking too much of a risk. He's fighting very safe still.
There you are. I think the style is low risk. Body shot by Hopkins. He has definitely started faster here than was the case in the 2 Taylor fights, or so it seems. In the first Taylor fight, Hopkins, by CompuBox count, averaged only 19 punches thrown per round for the first 8 rounds. Now Tarver stops him in his tracks with a left hand and hits him with another one. Good right hand by Hopkins. He's so quick with that punch.
Hopkins has always been here, back, and he throws his punches and lunges at you at the same time and dips his head down, and he'll catch you because he'll be in the motion of back, and you don't expect him to come forward.
Moves back, lurches forward, body and hand at the same time. The right hand extends out and catches you.
Yeah, he doesn't jab.
And he grabs you.
Yep.
This is something that we expected would happen from time to time during the fight, as the 2 counter punchers wait for the other man to set up an opportunity. And Hopkins gets off first.
Even though he doesn't land the punch, he seemingly have gotten, Tarver seems to be a little bit worried and a little bit concerned right now. It's interesting. This is 2 consecutive fights where he's fighting with hostile crowds. He was fighting Roy down in Florida, even though they both were from Florida, but the crowd was a pro-Roy crowd. And this crowd right now is a pro-Bernard Hopkins crowd.
Which will probably prompt Antonio to say that he's not getting enough respect. And there's another straight right hand that lands for Bernard Hopkins.
See that the legs, once they get inside, it's amazing that Hopkins does not have his, Bernard has his legs in better position than Tarver.
You're not doing a whole lot to keep us awake here.
Nope.
One thing you might note about Bernard Hopkins, incidentally, much attention is paid all the time to Tarver's advantages as a big light heavyweight southpaw, but Hopkins 9-0 in his career against southpaws, and that straight right hand has something to do with it.
Fighting a very smart fight right now.
Come on, you gotta work. You dancing to his beat, you okay? Talk to me. All right, come on. You dancing to his beat. You gotta keep that pressure on him. Don't let him get no momentum coming forward. And go to the body, baby. Okay. You're aiming for the head too much. You're looking for the 1 punch.
Okay.
Come on, baby. We gotta stop fighting this joker now. Okay?
Okay.
You letting him still
Turn to your left. Drive it back up in the center. That's because all he wants to do is hold you. You understand me? We can't relax, all right? You said it. When I get control, we can't make it easy. You know what I mean? We can't just say it's that easy and go.
Keep doing what you're doing. Beautiful boxing, baby. Smart.
Stay intellectual. You're above this. You're above this level, man. This guy's bullshit at the public.
He's done.
He didn't bullshit us.
He's done.
All right?
CompuBox numbers on power punches through 3. Tarver only 7 out of 42. Hopkins getting credit for 23 out of 72. Tarver hasn't landed his jab much either. Buddy McGirt clearly did not like what happens in rounds 2 and 3. An interesting question becomes, how was the phony war scored in round 1? Is Hopkins actually up 3 rounds to love? Let's take a look at Harold Letterman's card and see.
No doubt about it, Jim. 30-27, 3 rounds to nothing. Bernard Hopkins. Jim, I gotta tell you something. There ain't no Willie Peps in that ring tonight. This is no boxing match. These guys are out there slugging, throwing power punches. What I can't understand is why Antonio Tarver has no snap to the jab. He's just sticking it out, doing no damage with that right jab whatsoever. 3-0 Hopkins.
Hopkins is very good at neutralizing a jab, and of course with a southpaw, facing a conventional fighter, they can neutralize each other's left hands.
Now you see Tarver's fighting with a lot more intensity now. He's coming on a little bit more, I think, based on the good speech that he got. And his left hand is becoming more of a factor now.
Well, Tarver better get going because his left eye is beginning to show some swelling and perhaps narrowing down a little bit. And Hopkins is very happy with what he's been able to achieve with his straight right hand-based attack so far. Big left hand from Tarver. He's got to let it go more often.
Bernard is very satisfied. Bernard throws his 1 or 2 big shots and then he just smothers you after that. He doesn't try to sustain a flow of combinations.
One body shot by Hopkins. Tarver looking and looking again.
Bernard has what I would call a 3 yards in a cloud of dust or half-court offense.
That's Tarver's home run punch for this fight. He's not trying to variety punches, which he should. He's mainly shooting his straight left. But also, if he would shoot his right hook when he pulls back, he would be effective, but he's not doing that.
Tarver looks very tentative and somewhat confused by what Hopkins has been doing. And if Antonio dispenses with the jab and tries to throw power punches exclusively without setting them up, Bernard might be very happy to see that.
Tarver is a 3-1 favorite in this fight and not looking it.
No, and he doesn't look that strong either to me physically.
Nor is he taking the kinds of risks that will give him a chance to really open up against Bernard Hopkins. The question in my mind coming in was would Hopkins take enough risks to give himself a chance to win the fight? Now the question is, will Tarver do that?
Yeah, well, Hopkins can make anybody look bad with his style. He's a very difficult guy to fight conventionally. And Tarver is a conventional, very good fighter.
That big left hand at the end of the round could conceivably influence judges. Antonio Tarver's looking to win a round to try to get himself started in the fight.
That action on tape from Atlantic City, Bernard Hopkins' destruction of Antonio Tarver last Saturday night. Here's a live look at murky Memphis, Tennessee, where fans have poured in from over the Arkansas border to root for their home favorite, Jermaine Taylor, as he tries to retain the middleweight championship against Winky Wright. Both fighters are already in the arena here to prepare for the live fight coming up. Just a little while ago, Larry Merchant visited Jermaine Taylor in his dressing room.
Jermaine, when you saw Bernard Hopkins dominate Antonio Tarver, what went through your mind?
It just goes back to how I was trying to tell everybody that Hopkins is a hard fighter. Hopkins make anybody look bad. Hopkins is against Hopkins, make Hopkins look bad. You know what I mean? He's a great fighter. You can't take nothing away from the guy.
You've talked about having to be impressive, even though you are the champion in this fight. Why?
I just feel like, I still have a lot to prove, and I'm not ashamed of that. I've been working all my life, and ain't nothing gonna change this fight. I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna win this fight, I'm gonna look good doing it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Larry.
Taylor did take one thing away from Bernard Hopkins, his middleweight championship. He defends it tonight against Winky Wright.
Okay, yeah, but listen to me. I need you to give me hard jabs now. Okay, don't load up on the snap him. You're pulling with it. And what he's doing is he's walking to the right hand. He's timing the paw and jab. Don't paw with the jab, okay? You got to snap the jab hard. Okay. Now he's giving you this. Start jabbing his shoulder.
Okay.
Okay, and shooting the left.
He has to be coming victorious. All right? And stay real relaxed. Stay real relaxed. I need you to keep feint. I need that feint. And use your jab.
Right here, you see them getting in a clinch, and you see once again Bernard with his head down, more effective and better coordinated inside than Antonio.
CompuBox numbers in 4. Tarver finally cut loose with 44 punches, his high output of the fight. Not exactly a barn burner. 12 out of 44. Hopkins 11 out of 32 in that round by CompuBox count. Harold Letterman still has scored every round for Bernard Hopkins.
I scored the last one for Tarver.
Hopkins continues to come forward from time to time and be the aggressor in the fight. He's willing to do it because he's been effective with the right hand. Look at the size of Bernard's biceps. He's huge for a guy who was a middleweight just a few months ago.
Yeah, I thought he was always a light heavy. He's walked around as a middleweight by being a vegetarian and all of those type things, but never
running more than other fighters.
Running more.
Very proud of his 27-inch waist. He's an extremely vain man, as is Tarver, incidentally. They both love the way they look. Not unusual in fighters.
They may love the way they look. I don't like the way they look together.
Meaning it's an edgy fight.
Meaning wake me up when something happens.
What about Antonio's left eye, Manuel?
But I think his left eye is the same thing is happening continually. Those right hands, those clubbing right hands is coming around the gloves and hitting him on a continuous basis. And Antonio is just fighting a one-dimensional fight. To just trying to land one good punch with a straight left.
His glove touched the canvas. No. It is a knockdown. Antonio Tarver was knocked down by Bernard Hopkins. He had to put a glove on the canvas to hold himself up. That's a huge moment for Hopkins.
It's also the 5th round by which time Tarver was supposed to score the knockout.
Tarver looks very weak and listless at this and not able to focus, but even physically he looks very weak.
Antonio Tarver says he's never been knocked down in his professional fight career. If that's the case, that was the first one right there.
It was not a big, convincing knockdown. It was a technical knockdown because his gloves grazed the canvas.
You're absolutely right, Larry, but it's the way he's reacting after that is what's the concern right now. It looks like he's weak and as if it was a serious knockdown. This is what...
Crowd goes wild as Hopkins presses his advantage and tries to knock Tarver out in the 5th round.
Tarver looks physically very weak.
Big right hand by Hopkins to the chest of Tarver. Now Tarver gets 2 left hands in and momentarily stops the rally. A fight is breaking out in the 5th round, Larry.
Yeah, they woke me up.
5 seconds.
Maybe they heard you. Hopkins wanted to let one more right hand go, but the crowd adores him for the knockdown he scored in the 5th.
Walking into that right hand, baby. Okay, you following him around. He's timing that jab, Antonio. You waiting too long, baby. What's the matter? Talk to me, champ. You waiting too long. Come on, stop worrying about the knockout. Okay? Let your hands go. Okay, you sitting there and you dancing to his beat. You can't do that. Okay? And he's timing you. I told you, don't follow him because he's going to walk into that right hand. You got to walk over and cut him off. Okay? Let's get back to the double jab. Let's get right back to it. But I told you, they got to be fast.
But you're smart. You can't expose yourself because this guy fights sets like a bitch. He'll fight to survive. He'll fight to survive. And it'll be hard to break the shell. So stay smart. Okay? We're going to hurt him until we break him down. Stay smart. You understand me? Stay smart. You know how that started?
Right here, you see Tarver coming in, but it seems like everything he's doing is so uncoordinated and weak tonight. And the energy level and the strength seems to be coming from Bernard. And as you see, Bernard fights with his head down, as I told you all the time, which gives you very little target to punch at.
Power shots in 5. Tarver 3 out of 17. Hopkins 12 out of 29. Antonio only threw 29 punches in the round. After 5 rounds on Harold Letterman's card, Antonio Tarver is 6 points down. Meaning he's rapidly sliding out of position to have any chance to win a decision. Antonio Tarver swore that he wasn't up near 220 pounds on the set of Rocky Balboa, and that coming down from that weight wasn't going to compromise him in the fight. But Emmanuel Stewart, he does not look strong.
He does not look strong, and the expression in his face between the rounds, I did not like. If I had to be working with him, it looked like he's resigned to the fact that he's going to have a rough night or maybe lose. I didn't see that anxiety where he beat his gloves together and said, yeah, I'm going to pick it up. It just seemed like, hey, I can't really deal with this situation too much.
And I totally agree, and there's a thudding right hand from Hopkins that hurt Tarver again.
Bernard is
Buddy McGirt knew it. He wasn't getting the response he wanted from Tarver when he said, what's wrong?
Yeah. Bernard is barreling into him with punches and shoulders all at the same time.
And now Bernard pins Tarver against the ropes with his shoulder and just holds him there. Tarver still pawing with his jab, doing exactly what Buddy McGirt told him not to do. McGirt has told him several times, don't paw with your jab. Bernard is timing that. Tarver can't stop himself from doing it.
He's depending on that one left hand. Maybe the great knockout he had over Roy Jones, which was a kind of weird punch anyway, but he's depending on that again, and I don't think it's going to happen tonight.
Well, I just think that Hopkins has virtually neutralized completely the right hand of Tarver. We don't see any hooks. We don't see any really effective jabs, and that has discombobulated Tarver.
Absolutely right. Tarver spent his whole career fighting right-hand fighters, so it certainly isn't the first time he's been in the position of looking at a guy's left shoulder right in front of him.
He looks so weak and tentative. He's flinching at punches that he thinks is going to come. Mentally, this man is not strong enough to hold up in this fight, I don't think.
He must be shocked at the strength of Bernard Hopkins, who was expected to be the smaller man in the fight and looks like the bigger man.
And most people that asked me about the fight, I told them I'd pick Bernard, you know, and I said, well, it's because I just, in the last half of the 11th round with Roy, even though he had knocked him down, in the 12th, I saw a mental weakness in Antonio that I know that he could not be that way with a guy like Bernard, because Bernard's mentally a very tough man. But I'm surprised physically that Bernard, supposedly the smaller guy, is physically manhandling Antonio Tarver.
This is not unlike the tattooing that Bernard Hopkins put on Felix Tito Trinidad in Madison Square Garden, when he reduced Trinidad to simply walking around bewildered, taking shots.
Come on, you got to talk to me. You're not letting your hands go. You're not doing anything.
You're standing outside.
Okay, you're walking into the right hand. You're not jabbing his arm. You're not throwing no body shots. You're looking for the one punch.
Okay.
Okay? Let's go. Jab his arm.
All right.
Stop walking into the right hand.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay? You're walking right into it. Okay? You're making it too easy for him.
He's waiting on you to see what you're going to do. That's all.
Saturday, July 8th, catch the premiere of Countdown to Mosley Vargas 2, a documentary-style look inside both camps as the fighters prepare for next month's rematch. That's Saturday, July 8th at 10 a.m. and again at 10 p.m. Eastern and Pacific.
Your left. His left hand is neutralized.
Man, you got to stay focused on the task here. Let's go. Let's wake up. Let's go, man. Stay focused on the task here, baby. Okay? Okay, let's cut him off. Stop walking. You're walking right into the right hand. Get the head moving. Jab his arm. Right here. Don't worry about the head. Okay? Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Antonio Tarver is squinting, blinking, trying to get his left eye to feel better. It's bothering him. Hopkins outlanded Tarver 25-11 in total punches in the last couple of rounds, 21-5 in power shots. I think I know what we're going to see as we go to Harold Letterman. How do you have it through 6?
Okay, Jim. 60-53, 6 rounds to nothing. Bernard Hopkins. Jim, I gotta tell you something. Number one, Benji Esteves, I think, may have given Bernard a bit of a break. I don't think Antonio Tarver's glove touched, but be as it may, Bernard getting off first with that right hand, doing a beautiful job. Tarver still not snapping the right jab. 6-0, Hopkins.
I have it 5 rounds to 1.
And I got to be totally honest, I did not yet see a camera shot which establishes definitively whether Tarver's glove touched the canvas on the knockdown, but he did not protest.
He didn't protest, but I didn't see it. I didn't see him touch it before.
And I'm told that it's all out of frame. We don't have it on a camera shot. Not even the overhead shot will show us for sure whether the glove touched the canvas. But referee Benji Esteves ruled immediately, and Tarver didn't complain.
The way the fight is going, it's all academic.
It doesn't matter. It's been a wipeout.
Antonio looks so vulnerable to be hit with any power punch. And Bernard is very cagey. He's going to take his time and try to catch him with a clean shot right on the chin.
Right hand to the body by Hopkins. Choosing selectively, but choosing well.
Tarver calls himself the magic man, but it's Hopkins that's making him disappear right here.
Yeah, Antonio's going to need something very magical to turn this around. Maybe a left hand would do it. Maybe Hopkins' left hand is just as good. Of Bernard Hopkins stepping into supposedly unknown territory at light heavyweight is magnificent to behold.
Yeah, because, Tarver is not what you call a big, physical light heavyweight. There's some light heavyweights I've been in the past. And Victor Galindez and those type guys. He's just a tall, light heavyweight. And it's mainly punching power. Clay the famous off for the Roy Jones punch.
But it was an electric shot that knocked Jones out.
Great punch.
Of course, Roy was coming forward into the punch, too.
Yeah.
Good, solid right-hand lead by Hopkins. Bernard doesn't bother with a jab in this instance.
Nope.
He's just setting up his right hand over and over and over, occasionally a left hook.
That brief cheer was B-Hop for Bernard Hopkins.
Stop.
Hopkins misses and gets close. He pins Antonio on a bear hug. Or he works him over on one side, away from referee Benji Esteves.
But as soon as Bernard finishes the punch, he's all pushing you, so you actually, Tarver never retaliates at all.
You are looking at taped coverage from 1 week ago. Bernard Hopkins' stirring victory over Antonio Tarver in Atlantic City. Here's a live shot of Memphis, where just a short time from now, Winky, Wright, and Jermaine Taylor will enter the ring to fight for the middleweight championship. Wright trained in Vegas to fight here in Memphis. A short time ago, Larry Merchant visited his dressing room.
Winky, when you saw Bernard Hopkins dominate Antonio Tarver, did it give you a different impression of your opponent tonight, Jermaine Taylor?
No, it didn't give me a different impression. I knew that, I was fighting a great fighter in Jermaine, so, it didn't matter what he did to Tarver. Two different styles.
What does his taking Emmanuel Stewart into his camp and his corner mean to you?
Well, it just means that, he felt that he needed some things to work on, and he went and got one of the best trainers out there to help him, But, when we get in the ring, he can't help. Just me and him.
Thank you, Winky.
Wright is unbeaten since 1999. Can he keep the streak going tonight? Now let's go back to Atlantic City and last Saturday's action.
What's the matter? Come on, you're not doing nothing. You're not countering. Look at me. You're not countering. You're just walking. You're daydreaming, baby. Come on. You're a much better fighter than this, man. Okay? You're not jabbing his arm. You're not doing nothing I'm telling you to do. You're waiting for the one shot. Give me.
Let's not lose focus. You went for some big shots there. We don't need them. Walk to your left. Keep giving me that right hand. Walk to your left. Give me that double right hand. All right? And invest to the body, X. When you go down there, I want you to go down there for keeps. You understand me? Right. Walk to your left for me. All right? He's got life. If we go the other way, he's got Hail Mary. One punch wonder. Okay? He'll close his eyes and launch if we go the other way.
Average power punches per round, Tarver only 3 out of 15. Hopkins 9 out of 25. You saw the discouraged look on Antonio Tarver's face in the corner. Is he done, Emmanuel?
Yes, for the most part, I would say just about. I'd see he's coming back this round with a little bit more grace. But overall, I would say no. I didn't see the kind of the determination that I wanted to see.
Well, whatever determination he might have mustered could have been blunted by that right hand that Hopkins just hit him with.
Yeah, well, he's coming on right now. I think he's making his final big effort right now. He's fighting a very determined fight. But to be honest with you, even physically, he just doesn't look that strong.
And when he lands a couple left hands, Hopkins is easily able to back him off with equally solid rights.
Good right hand lead, right inside. Bernard is just barreling his way in and bullying him around.
Hopkins isn't a particularly hard puncher, but he's a stern puncher.
At this stage, he doesn't put combinations together. He doesn't flow. He just throws one punch at a time for the most part. And then he pushes you and butts you with his head either way. But he very seldom puts a lot of punches together. See there? Perfect example.
Tarver got in one left hand over the top. Hopkins coming back.
He's walking through him now.
Haven't seen this much go forward in Bernard Hopkins in a long, long time. And you said it before the fight. He had to go back to being the Bernard Hopkins who fought Antoine Eccles in rough, aggressive performances.
Well, we've seen him do it, Jim, I think, but late in fights.
Late in the fight, so last
and now he feels that Tarver is weakening, and so he's a little bit less inclined to be defensive.
And I think in the fight with Jermaine Taylor, I think he felt Jermaine Taylor's strength in the first round. He's a young, strong, hard-punching kid, and he was a little cautious that he wouldn't fight until the end of the fight.
Wonder if in this coming week, Jermaine Taylor might be getting a little bit more credit for what he accomplished against Bernard Hopkins. Hopkins looking this good tonight against Tarver. Tarver gets in one left hand. Hopkins missed with the right hand in return. That was one of the better moments of the whole fight for Antonio. It's probably been his second best or best round in the fight, and he may not be in position to win it anyway.
He came out very determined this round. This was a round that he was going to make a change. It would be this round. And he's not been effective to mount any clean, effective punches for the most part still. He's fought with more aggression, and that's about it, but he hasn't landed many clean punches.
He's fighting Bernard Hopkins' fight. One punch at a time, rough, piecemeal.
Bernard makes every opponent fight his fight because it's such an unusual, awkward, but effective style in the way he uses it.
Hopkins raises his gloves to the audience, and they respond with approval.
Give me too much ground, Antonio. You got to stand your ground. When you get done punching, he's coming back with punches, okay? And you retreating, all right? Let's go, baby. Now listen, let's go back, Antonio. Everything you're throwing is to the head. Go to his body, man. You got to stop putting combinations together. You're getting him on the ropes and you're swinging for the head, okay? Start downstairs, then work your way up.
Stop pushing him back now, X. We're going to start pushing him back. Let's not fall asleep. Let's not get away from the game. Okay, baby? Let's not get away. We're looking for the right hand. We step into our left. Just cliche southpaw stuff, baby. There's nothing fancy about this guy. You understand me? There's nothing fancy about this guy. Faint.
CompuBox numbers on the 8th round. Tarver 10 out of 46. That's his high punch output for the fight. Hopkins 9 out of 29. Not an easy round to score. Maybe Antonio gave himself a chance to win it simply by throwing more and looking as though he was more determined than in previous rounds. Most authoritative punch there, the right hand by Hopkins. Again, the most effective punch in the exchange was the right hand by Hopkins.
Well, Hopkins is pinpointing, very accurate with his punches. His little short right hand lead through the center is very effective because of the way that Tarver keeps his left glove over to his side. So Bernard is pushing this shot right in between. He tried it again.
Break, clean break, step out.
Tarver's jab is getting him nothing. He's not landing it. He's not in any way bothering Hopkins with it. He's not setting up anything with it. Tarver's jab won't help him unless he throws it out there hard, over and over.
You know, the one thing that I was impressed with Bernard, even in the loss to Jermaine Taylor, I talked to him afterwards. I said, it's amazing you still have your coordination. You know, you just had a particular fighter that was very difficult, but your coordination is still very good. And right here, he's actually better coordinated than Tarver, who's the younger fighter.
Step.
Gifted athlete, Bernard Hopkins. And a fighter who has done very little to despoil his gifts. No bad habits. Gym rat of the highest order. He has lived a monastic fighter's existence ever since coming out of prison at age 22. 4.5 years in prison for Bernard Hopkins before his professional boxing career began. He says that's where he learned the lessons that ultimately allowed him to become a very disciplined man.
My break.
I thought I saw Tarver land a short right hook in that occasion.
That would be an event. Meanwhile, the crowd is up and watching fist fights that are taking place elsewhere in the arena.
All right, no break. Nice and clean. Step.
Big left hook by Hopkins. Tarver in trouble again as the round comes to a close.
You gotta stop retreating.
9 rounds in the books.
You gotta stop going back. You're going back too much. Come on, baby. You gotta stand your ground. Everything you're throwing, you got knockout written on it. Keep it sharp. Come on, Antonio. Let's go. You gotta bite down now. We got 3 more rounds, baby. You gotta bite down.
This is your legacy, Hop. Right, baby. And we ain't letting nothing happen like happened before. Right. This is your legacy.
That's right. Don't give it away.
We're gonna finish this heavy. Push him back. We're gonna Trinidad this, baby.
Beautiful. Keep taking this good.
X Factor, same thing. Walk into my left. Feint. Push him.
Here you see Bernard shooting a straight right hand, taking advantage of the bad hand position of Tarver, which way he keeps his left hand too far to the side, and Bernard has found a little gap, and he's steadily going through that gap with those right hand leads.
Average power punches per round. Tarver 4 out of 18. Hopkins 9 out of 25. It's been Bernard's fight all the way, start to finish. Harold Edelman, how do you have it through 9?
89, 81, 8 rounds to 1. Bernard Hopkins. Jim, I'd say something. He's winning this fight easy as pie. There's no doubt about it. I don't know what's the matter with Antonio Tarver. The guy doesn't get off. He doesn't snap that right hand. Bernard moves in, gets off the first punch. Nails him with solid right hands. 8-1, Hopkins.
I think it's a little bit closer than that, but plainly Hopkins is in command.
This is the 10th round of a scheduled 12. Antonio Tarver has not yet been able to produce the urgency, the intensity, or anything of technical competence necessary to turn things around.
I give credit to Hopkins for not letting him do it.
And if Antonio Tarver needs a knockout against Bernard Hopkins in the last 3 rounds, what an imposing task that is.
Good luck.
Yeah, Tarver's never had a knockout past the 10th.
And Hopkins has never been knocked out. He's only been down in 1 fight in his career.
Segundo Mercado knocked him down twice.
Right hand leads. Seems like Bernard right now is not going for the knockout himself. He seems to be very content to ride through the fight just the way it's going, feeling he's going to win a decision. If the knockout comes, fine, but I'm not going to try to make it happen anymore and take a risk.
Well, that's great strategy. That's the way for him to win the fight. That's just all-out smart fighting.
Especially at 41.
100%. Guy who hasn't made too many mental errors in his career. Maybe he started too slowly against Jermaine Taylor twice, though. If so, he's making up for it tonight. And he got a fast start in this fight.
Very good start.
Well, and the important thing is he's been able to sustain it.
Punishment. Hopkins just wearing Tarver down through the course of the fight. Sugar Ray Robinson led Joey Maxim through 13 rounds at Yankee Stadium in 1952 and then collapsed from heat exhaustion.
At this stage here, Bernard really would sit down and go all out. I believe he could stop Tarver, but I don't think he's going to do it.
I think Tarver is so discouraged
and
at this point.
Too.
That makes him vulnerable.
He's very, very weak. His punches and his misses. He doesn't look strong mentally or physically.
And he took 2 big shots at a knockout, and Bernard grinned to entertain the crowd.
Bernard is winning the decision.
Once again, that was on tape from Atlantic City. Here's a live look at the FedEx Forum in Memphis, where Winky Wright and Jermaine Taylor are preparing for the middleweight championship fight. 154-pound champion Winky Wright, after his destructions of Shane Mosley and Felix Trinidad, ranked as the top fighter in the world in the middleweight classes. And that fight against Trinidad took place at 160 pounds, so he has been to the weight level before, where he will be fighting Jermaine Taylor tonight. Also, his last fight against Sam Solomon was at 160. Jermaine Taylor is seen, however, as one of the biggest middleweights in the division. At 160 pounds at the weigh-in, he's 6'1", strapping across the chest, and clearly the bigger man in tonight's fight. Wright regarded as the superior technician. Who will win? It's a matter of great suspense in Memphis. We'll bring you back here after the completion of Hopkins Tarver.
We're not gonna bullshit with him. We're not gonna get cute. We're gonna whoop his ass and retire. That's right. Like no other man. That's right. Like no other man.
Close the show. Close the show.
Jab going. No matter what, keep the jab going. Don't retreat. Just keep pulling and throw feint, okay? Keep pulling and throw feint, okay, babe? Look at me. All right, you gotta think of it. Look at me. Think about that now, okay? Just keep throw the jab and stay. Keep the feints going with the jab, hard jab, okay? Don't go for no home runs, okay? All right, don't stand there and take a whole lot of shots, all right?
I don't understand those instructions.
I don't either.
I mean, he's behind on points. Every punch that he throws, he should have knockout hoping to connect with something. Every punch should have knockout written on it.
Antonio Tarver has landed in single digits by CompuBox count in 8 of the 10 rounds. It's no way to win a fight.
Well, that's why Hopkins lost to Taylor in their first fight.
Now both of Tarver's eyes are swelling. Excuse me, Larry.
He landed an average of 5 punches a round for the first 8 rounds of the first fight with Taylor.
Hopkins so much quicker on the trigger than Tarver throughout the fight.
He would sit down and really drive the punch straight through. He would really hurt him, too.
I think he's going to knock him out. Just like he knocked out Trinidad in Madison Square Garden. I think he will finish him.
He's there to be knocked out if he wants to step it up.
I think he's going to finish him. What a performance by Hopkins. And a knockout would be a fabulous signature for his career.
Yes, it would be.
Tarver is not as spent as Trinidad was that night.
He might be just as discouraged, though.
Well, he should be.
Emmanuel, how can you retire off a performance like this?
That's a great performance. Great performance. I don't know. It's going to be a big test. Big decision.
Well, he says he's already made it, and he seems sincere. But of course, fighters have retired with great sincerity in the past, and then unretired with just as much sincerity.
Indeed.
But it wouldn't surprise me to see Bernard do it, because he doesn't have that excessive ego, and he seemingly has handled his money always very well. So I think those two things, as far as the limelight and needing money, I think they won't be factors with him, and he may retire and stay retired.
We got another option for you. Benji Esteves may have to stop the fight because of the swelling in Tarver's eyes. I'm not sure he's going to be able to see in the 12th out of the right eye.
Hands are free, working it.
Antonio Tarver, to paraphrase Duke Ellington, he's got it bad.
And that ain't good. All right, we showed our age on that one. Collectively.
Are we any older than these guys? 78 is old in dog years.
Gotcha.
We're older than Hopkins. Footwork, the combination punching. Bernard's getting better from round to round. Now he switches southpaw. He's just toying with this.
Yeah, he's just having
a good time.
Humiliating him, really, what he's doing at this stage. And Tarver can't do anything about it.
How big a favorite did you say Tarver was, Larry?
3-1.
Whatever you do, you be smart.
This fight has been one long celebration for Bernard Hopkins.
Be smart, man. We'll get cute. Keep taking this boy to school. Stay focused. You understand me? We're going to stay focused.
Okay, so let's keep the jab going. He's going to try to finish strong.
Am I looking bad?
Yes.
I mean,
you're taking too many shots, Antonio. Okay? Keep the jab going. Now you got to bluff your way through this round. You understand me? All right, the referee's gonna keep an eye on you. So you can't be laying on the rope. You understand me? All right, you gotta keep the jabs, feint your way. Get close, you grab him, walk him around, okay? Every time he gets close, grab him and walk around. Don't take a whole lot of shots, okay? When you fight, no, you're not cut. Don't worry about your eye. Listen to me, all right? You gotta keep the jab going.
Irony of ironies. In the third fight between Roy Jones and Antonio Tarver, we watched Jones fight just to finish the 12 rounds. The instructions that Buddy McGirt just gave to Antonio Tarver were not about trying to win even a round. They were trying to finish the fight, just the way Jones did against them.
Well, but I can't say that he came into the fight with that mindset.
Correct.
I think that Buddy McGirt is just being a realist and seeing what's happening in this fight and knowing that Tarver really doesn't have it in him to hurt Bernard with one punch at this point, if he ever did.
Historians will size up the mark Bernard Hopkins leaves on boxing if, in fact, this is his last tour of duty in the ring. Our cameras show you the marks he has left on Antonio Tarver.
It's not only it's beating him like it, it's humiliating him. Not to the degree that Jeff Lacey was by Calzaghe, but it's one of those type fights that you just would be almost labeled by the rest of your life. But, you know, all his accomplishments are going to be somewhat tainted by this performance, aside from the one-punch knockout of Roy.
Well, for a man 41 years old, it is a remarkable performance. However ugly he sometimes looks in the ring, the result will look beautiful to him.
Oh, I was speaking of Tarver, but I should have cleared what I was saying. And Tarver's going to be remembered by this so much.
Oh, I agree. No, we got it, Emmanuel. No, we know exactly what you're saying. That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, Tarver was looking at a potential Hall of Fame bid off of his wins over Jones and Johnson if he could beat Hopkins tonight. Now I think he's back to square one.
Maybe worse than that now, because the guys who fight him, they're going to attack him a lot more. And I don't think he can hold up with a good, strong light heavyweight anymore. I think he just physically outgrown it at this stage. Where Bernard is actually fighting at the weight where he should have been fighting at probably for the last 2 years.
Unless Tarver fights again before December, and after this beating, that's questionable. You'll next see him playing Mason the Lion Dixon in Rocky Balboa, playing the heavyweight champion of the world. Tonight's result, not particularly good news for the promotion of the movie. Bernard's just going to dance his way to the finish. Antonio Tarver came into the ring tonight with the chosen identity, Legend Killer. The headline for this fight should be Legend Kills. Hopkins comes to the media side of the ring and stares, as if to say, there's my
Good
statement.
Fight.
Hopkins is leaning over to talk to Emmanuel.
Thank you.
What did he say, Emmanuel?
Okay. He told Jermaine to win this fight tomorrow night, to act like a champion and disregard all this disrespect that they're giving him, for him to come back and win that championship so they both can say that they're champions at the same time in different weight divisions.
Represent the middleweight division, in other words.
Yes.
So it was a gracious thing for Bernard to say about the man who got two close decisions over him last year.
Yes, and he said he would be there to cheer Jermaine on.
Antonio Tarver thoroughly beaten by Bernard Hopkins. There's the final Letterman round-by-round scorecard, 119-108. He saw Tarver winning one round, the 8th. A humiliated Antonio Tarver accepts the blandishments from Bernard Hopkins there, and Hopkins has every right to strut, every right to brag, every right to bask in what he has accomplished
yes,
here.
he has a fantastic performance. A shutout in a fight where he was a 3-1 underdog, following losing 2 consecutive fights in a row.
And now Mackie Shilstone goes 3 for 3.
Yep.
Spinks, Jones, Hopkins. Let's go to Michael Buffer with the official particulars on the decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the scorecard. All 3 judges, Al Bennett, John Coyle, and Clark Sammartino, scored this bout 118 to 109. As we close the final chapter on the career of a boxing legend, the winner and new light heavyweight champion of the world from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Bernard, the executioner Hopkins.
And there's a look at the CompuBox numbers. Tarver managing to land only 78 punches in the fight. That's an average of 6.5 punches landed per round. Desultory. Hopkins, 133 landed punches. It's actually a fairly high amount for him. Hopkins landing at a sterling 32% connect rate for a fight of this nature and fighting as defensively as Bernard usually does. Those are big numbers for him. Tarver just didn't get much done. Power punches. Tarver was swinging away, trying to score a knockout with one big left hand. The more he tried, the worse it looked. Hopkins landing his straight right hand with authority throughout the fight, down the stretch, some left hooks as well. And now Larry Merchant, who once was the star sports editor of the Philadelphia Daily News, stands by with an even bigger Philadelphia legend, Bernard Hopkins.
Thank you very much, Jim. Congratulations, Bernard. Did you know it would be this one-sided going in?
Larry, yes, I told people that they're going to be surprised. One of them was Max Kellerman. There was a couple other people I said, you're going to be surprised that this fight going to be easy for me like Trinidad. And they looked at me kind of funny.
Why?
Because I know that I can fight. I could have fought 3 weight classes 4 or 5 years ago. And I know that I'm good with southpaws, Larry. I mean, John David Jackson, who was my second, and Robert Bam Bam Hines, early in my career, I got beat up for 2 or 3 years. So I was adjusted to southpaws, and I never had a problem with him, Larry, honestly.
Was the key that you facing him and his jab with
Absolutely, correct. Larry, you're getting good at this.
Well, I've been watching you long enough,
Yeah,
Bernard.
you're getting very good at this, man, and I'm going to miss you. And I mean, even though we have our problems, man, but you know, we make a good team. You know what I mean? The Mutt and Jeff team. You the Mutt and I'm Jeff. No, that's fine.
We're going to take it on the road, Bernard.
Thank you.
Was there any point in which he troubled you? Was there any punch that got your attention?
Larry, he got a pretty good punch, but people underestimate that I take good punches. Antoine Eccles hit me on a break at the Venetian 2000 on HBO, right on the kisser. I hit him back, I didn't budge. But I got a decent chin, and y'all seen it today. But Tarver has a good punch. I know why that he knocked Roy Jones out, and I know why he gave a lot of people trouble. But I never gave him that clear target, but I didn't run. I just used Jersey Joe Walcott, the Mongoose, and Archie Moore type of style to keep spinning and rolling my shoulders without running and wasting energy. I was there to be able to counter, and that's what knocked him down, I think, the second or third round.
You suggested that you could have moved up in weight several years ago.
About 5 or 6 years ago, I could have.
Why didn't you?
Well, it was more money down at the small weights, and the risk was minimum to the risk going up to fight the big boys. And you got to understand, I'm so disciplined, I stayed there without no problems. I did have no problems, but I wanted to capitalize and make history in the middleweight division and then go back up with the winner of Roy Jones and Tarver. That was my plan last year. It got delayed, and now I completed that rendezvous that I wanted to do. A middleweight fight, which was Jermaine Taylor, and wound up being 2, and then the winner of the Roy Jones and Tarver fight. And Tarver is a great champion, man. I got a lot of respect for him. And if I was considering coming back, and I know my sisters and them who was in the ring today gonna get me, he'd be the only man that I give a rematch to, not Roy Jones Jr.
You seem sincere when you say, this is it. I've made my mark. I've made my money. It's time to go in another direction, in a business direction in boxing. But when I asked you yesterday, well, what happens if somebody came along and offered you potloads full of money, $20 million, you said, well, you'd come out of the grave for that kind of money.
Yeah, and I'll talk to you tomorrow and give you the answer. Thanks, HBO. Thanks, Philadelphia. Thanks, the commission down here in New Jersey. They were professional, world class. Larry Hazzard is the top referee. Him and Mark Ratner is the two people I respect in the boxing.
Thank you, Bernard. Again, congratulations for the fight and your
this
career.
This might be our last interview, man. As a fighter, what you got to say to the crowd? We got a rendezvous. Everybody talk about me and you on the streets of Philadelphia. Say something, Larry.
It's been surreal.
All right. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, HBO.
All right. Antonio Tarver, you were the naturally bigger man. You thought going into this fight, you thought you could take it to him. Why couldn't you?
Well, you know, Larry, sometimes you wake up and it's just not your day. I mean, take my hat off to Bernard Hopkins, had a hell of a game plan. He stuck to it. He came to fight. I was flat for some apparent reason. I thought we felt good all the way through camp. And, you know, sometimes it's like that in this game.
He didn't make you flat?
No, it was physical. Physically, I just felt like I never had the pop. You know, I saw the openings and just was a step too late, you know, every time.
Do you want to attribute that now to the weight loss you had to sustain to make weight tonight?
I don't want to say that. No, it's just one of those days, you know. You have your ups and downs in this game, and, you know, I felt coming in, we had everything ready, everything together. It just didn't happen. I take my hat off to Bernard. He deserves everything he get after this victory.
Are you willing to go back to square 2 or 3, not 1, you're too old for that, to try to recapture a light heavyweight championship that, if Bernard retires, as he says he will, is vacant?
That remains to be seen. You know, I gave a lot to this game. I love boxing, but you know, you never know. I mean, this is a tough business, and this is a tough fight. So you know, I don't know. I got a lot of thinking to do. I thought we had it all together, but obviously, you know, he's a great champion, a legend. No one ever took anything away from Bernard Hopkins. He had his shining moment, and you know, all praise to him, man. I mean, he deserves everything. He's a great champion.
Thank you very much, Antonio.
All right, that was last Saturday night in Atlantic City. And now we bring you live for the last time this evening to Memphis, Tennessee, on the banks of the Mississippi River, where in the FedEx Forum, a lively crowd has gathered, many of them coming in from across the Arkansas border to root for native son Jermaine Taylor as he prepares to defend the middleweight championship against Winky Wright. Joining me here, Lennox Lewis, our expert commentator for Boxing After Dark, working in place of his former trainer Emmanuel Stewart tonight, as Stewart, our regular world championship boxing expert, is going to be in the ring with Jermaine Taylor. More on that in a minute. And also working with me, of course, HBO boxing analyst Larry Merchant. Larry, I'll start with you. Why did Bernard Hopkins look so much better against supposedly the best light heavyweight in the world, Antonio Tarver, than he had looked in 2 previous fights against middleweight Jermaine Taylor?
Think speed, relative speed. Taylor was quicker and more active, and that put Hopkins on the defensive too often. But against the methodical Tarver, it was Hopkins who looked more active and quicker. And that enabled him to show us the toughness and the versatility that made him so successful for so long. He wasn't as good as he once was, as the country song by Toby Keith goes, but once he seemed as good as he ever was. And now the last angry man and the last Spartan of boxing can relax and smile and occasionally have a sip of champagne, Jim.
Indeed, and Toby Keith should be paying you royalties, by the way, for the number of times you use his wisdom. Hopkins says, despite the brilliance of that performance, it was the last time. He's going to walk away. Here's the sport's reigning poster boy for walking away and staying away, and Lennox Lewis, having retired on top and stayed out. What is the hardest thing about that? What's the best thing about it?
Well, the best thing is definitely having more time with your family, and it's always great to have something to go to and work on, such as HBO as me. But as far as he's concerned, he doesn't have nothing else to prove. He basically can go into something else, promotion. So I think he could make a good promoter, and that's what he can go into.
The hard part is to stay away from the money and the glamour?
Well, there's a lot of money out there that people are going to be throwing at him, and he has to watch out for that. There's going to be people on the street saying, come on, we need you back, Bernard. So he has to try and keep away from that.
I think the Golden Boy promotional experience is likely to be a good bridge for Bernard. He seems to be enjoying it immensely. Meanwhile, Bernard can sit back on his sofa and watch boxing with you and all the rest of the fight fans who mark their calendars for these upcoming shows. June 24, a Boxing After Dark doubleheader featuring heavyweight Calvin Brock taking on Timur Ibragimov. You got the heavyweight champ Lennox Lewis talking about those heavyweights. Also rising prospect Joel Julio. He is a must-see fighter facing Carlos Quintana. All four of those fighters are unbeaten on Boxing After Dark. July 8th, it's countdown to Mosley Vargas 2. Go behind the scenes with both fighters as they prepare for their upcoming rematch. The primetime premiere is at 10 p.m. Eastern and Pacific. July 15 on HBO pay-per-view, the live fight. Shane Mosley and Fernando Vargas meeting for the second time in 2006. Mosley won the first contest by TKO Feb 25 as Vargas' left eye swelled shut, forcing the stoppage. And on July 22, live on HBO, a welterweight title fight between champion Carlos Baldemir and the always entertaining Arturo Gatti. Log on to HBO.com for a complete schedule of upcoming boxing. Meanwhile, Jermaine Taylor was trained to the middleweight championship of the world by his longtime amateur and Olympic coach Pat Burns. In preparation for this fight, he takes the daring step of replacing Burns with the legendary Emmanuel Stewart. Net result, Taylor has trained in Stewart's legendary Kronk Gym in Detroit for the past 6 weeks. A new world for him. Let's see what it was like.
It's morning in Motown, and for middleweight champ Jermaine Taylor, far removed from home in Little Rock, Arkansas, it's the start of another day of training at the historic Kronk Gym, a place synonymous with Emmanuel Stewart and the many champions he's trained inside this basement door. Stewart and his newest champion went straight to work when camp began on May 1.
Even though Jermaine has had 25 professional fights, I still see him as a raw fighter. And it's an attribute to him that he's became the world champion off of what I consider just raw talent and determination. So we've been working with him on his footwork, on his rhythm, and developing his other skills, his left hook, punches to the body, better upper body movement, and then picking up some more advanced tricks that he needs to learn, we feel, at this stage of his career. Just have bing, bing, and then back, bing, bing. Again.
The cornerstone of Stewart's training is intense competitive sparring, which at Kronk draws a daily crowd, sometimes even past champs whose images adorn the walls.
Good, there you go, good. Next time up on top. I like to be in the ring when my guys are sparring because I can keep talking to them continually. And eventually, even when you're not there, they hear their voice in the real fight. With a jab, should have went touch it right back with a jab after together. There you go, keep working the jab up. You're just trying to take advantage of all of this natural talent coordination that he doesn't utilize. He basically throws a jab, maybe 2 punches, and then he runs in and he grabs. And trying to get him to where he can be more explosive and put things together in combinations is the biggest challenge.
For Jermaine Taylor, training at Kronk is a far cry from the camps he experienced prior to now, where he was the only world-class fighter in the gym.
There you go, okay? You're right back right away. Should be right.
Oh, I got great spar. I mean, every southpaw in the world must be here because, man, I spar every day and it's amazing.
Keep working, keep working.
There's a much greater sense of competition in these sparring sessions because there's loads of people in this gym watching, and these are all fight people. He's getting, serious work in there, and the whole environment in this gym is blood, sweat, guts. This is a rough little room, and I think it can only serve a fighter well.
Just ask the pro middleweights who've been in the ring with Taylor, the veteran Corey Johnson, and the up-and-comer, Andy Lee.
You can tell the difference in his punching, snap, the power, the speed. The guy is just full of charisma, full of strength, willpower. you know, you can feel the difference.
He's doing lots of hard rounds in the gym, you know, and I think people are going to be surprised at how well he's boxing. Sometimes a change is as good as a break, you know. Come here, new environment, he's got to start all over again, earn people's respect. Hopefully it'll pay off for him.
7 motherfuckers. You get 7 down here, that's like 12 rounds, man.
I've been learning a lot. I'm a lot more relaxed in the ring. I can see punches coming more clearly. When I'm slipping, I'm working the body a lot more. And my jab is on. When I throw my jab, it's on. I'm having a great time. I'm loving it.
He's happy with where he is right now. He says this is one of the best camps he's ever had in his life. And yeah, I think it's working for him.
6 weeks. It seems like a daring experiment. Put a champion fighter in a new environment with a Hall of Fame trainer and see what happens.
After beating Bernard Hopkins twice, and that was 2 close, controversial fights, and then to go in with the next most difficult fighter in the world in the division, Winky Wright, that's a major, major challenge. And if he can pull this off, he would definitely have established himself as a pretty good middleweight champion.
But here at Kronk, the walls have already spoken.
I looked up, I didn't even know it was there. So I said, that's me, man, y'all look at me. Now I'm right next to Tommy Hearns, a lot of all the champions. It's amazing. I mean, they treat me just like I'm one of theirs. And for that reason, I'll never disrespect their gym. It's an excellent gym, I'm loving it. It's just like home. Just like home.
Back live in Memphis with world heavyweight champion Lennox Lewis. Lennox, conventional wisdom in the sport is that it's extremely dangerous to change trainers before one of your biggest fights. Is this the exception to the rule?
Definitely the exception to the rule. Manuel Stewart is a trainer of champions. He's not going to change a boxer in there. He's just going to add to it. And he's got so much knowledge in the game. He's a great trainer, and he's going to be good for Jermaine.
Taylor's management team isn't certain that he heard or was able to implement the advice that he got between rounds against Bernard Hopkins. What is Stewart like in the ring between rounds?
Well, Stewart's very calm. Well, sometimes.
Except when you were fighting Mike Tyson.
Absolutely. But he's very calm, he's very easy to understand, and he tells you the right thing to do. So I don't think he'll have any problems listening to him or conveying what he needs to do in the ring.
All right, so that's the Taylor side of the story. Let's turn to Winky Wright's position. And Larry Merchant, he gets ready to come in here to fight a younger, bigger, stronger champion in what amounts to a virtually unanimous home crowd house. What's Winky's mindset about all that?
I got him where I want him. Winky Wright is one of those inveterate road warriors who, if he heard loud cheers on the walk-in, would turn around to see if Oscar or Tiger had joined his party. Like Bernard Hopkins, he has worn out and worn down the opposition in and out of the ring by using a highly personalized, low-risk style and the philosophy of just win. He has only 1 stoppage in his last 12 fights. For him, Jim, this is another W on the road.
Unless you think there's some trainer mismatch because of Emmanuel Stewart in Jermaine Taylor's corner, take note that Dan Birmingham, Winky Wright's trainer, was last year's United States Boxing Writers Association Trainer of the Year for his work with Wright and Jeff Lacey and other fighters. These two have been together, in contrast to Taylor and Stewart, nearly 20 years.
This is training. Jermaine, he got a new trainer, he got a new gym, all that, but he still ain't got this.
As Winky Wright runs the hills of Red Rock Park in Las Vegas to prepare for his fight with Jermaine Taylor, he relishes the stability of his training situation.
You see that jab? Taylor ain't getting by his jab.
Wright's trainer, Dan Birmingham, has been a ringside mainstay for Winky's entire amateur and pro career, a span of almost 20 years.
You got 2 rounds on this fight's all yours, baby. He's trying to take your living away from you. Just keep the fucking jab in his face.
He raised all the fuss, and I keep the calm.
I've never seen him lose his temper in almost 19 years. Can't say that about any other fighter. That would make a good team.
Yeah.
Let's see, what year was that, 88, 89?
Yep.
Long time.
Without a mustache, I barely had a mustache. That was a little dirt. It was a little dirt on my lip. Yeah, you cut that mullet off.
I look younger now. He had a high fade when he first came in the gym.
Nah, it grew into that.
Hairstyles illustrate just how long ago their partnership began. Wright was 16 years old when he walked into Birmingham's gym in St. Petersburg, Florida.
When I moved to Florida, I didn't know anyone, wasn't nothing to do, and the boxing club was right around the corner. So, I went, I saw Dan, and I told him I wanted to box.
And he told me he used to slap fight a lot in the streets, and we started from there, and he's come back day after day, week after week, month after month, and year after year.
We just grew to know and trust each other, and, I always looked up to him, and if I always needed something back then, he was there for me.
But when Team Wright hit the pro scene in the early 1990s, lucrative fight opportunities were hard to come by.
We were kind of desperate to get fights. I mean, Wink was training every day with nowhere to go, so I started getting on the phone. I called all the top promoters, and nobody would call me back.
We had no high-powered managers or the promoter, so, we went overseas and, did the world tour thing.
Coming from Florida in the United States, Ronald Winky Wright.
Birmingham and Wright spent the next 6 years fighting primarily in Europe. Although Wright found an audience abroad, he remained relatively unknown in the United States. But in 2004, in their 50th pro fight together, Team Wright enjoyed a breakthrough victory over Shane Mosley.
It was a great vindication for us. I mean, here we had gone to Europe, never thinking he would get this shot in front of the big crowd in America.
It was like, oh man, finally, after all these years, I beat one of the best pound-for-pound fighters on the planet.
During the rematch with Mosley, Wright shocked Birmingham with an uncharacteristic show of bravado.
Oh yeah, I knew he was gonna go crazy. And when I got to the corner, what are you doing?
Don't fucking do that again! I don't give a fuck! You don't win a big fight that way!
I mean, his whole career flashed before me, all this hard work, and here he's gonna drop his hands. And I said, oh my God, it's over. But then he sucked it up and he came back.
And just 6 months later, the duo reached the height of their profession.
You're looking fucking great, Winky.
Wright easily shut out Tito Trinidad. But with the success came new propositions for Winky.
There's been a lot of people that are around us now that have tried to break us up, but it's just not gonna happen.
Oh, well, I'm definitely loyal. I fix something that ain't broke. It's been working for us for a long time, man. And I trust Dan, and Dan trusts me.
So once again, Winky Wright will entrust his training to Dan Birmingham and the nearly 2 decades of experiences they've shared.
We learned the game together, so he made mistakes, I made mistakes. We always been able to say, okay, that was wrong, we shouldn't have did it, but okay, we'll make up next time, and that's cool. That's what you learn together.
I think you need to become real good friends and close friends, and that's the way you learn to trust through the years. It's just been it's been a magical story for us. It's something that can never be repeated again.
And here's a live shot of Winky Wright with a business suit on and a tie around his neck. And he's wearing trousers. And the obvious message is, this is my business, I'm going to work. Lennox, long before he was a star in America, he was a star in Europe because of his highly technical style. Is it true that European fans more greatly appreciate technique than Americans who love knockouts?
Absolutely. Everybody loves the sport of boxing in Europe, and they love to see great stars doing their thing in the ring and showing great skills. So I guess they love them over there because of that.
Jim, Winky Wright is renowned in the boxing world as being a high-rolling gambler both at the gaming tables and on the golf course. When I asked him how he reconciles that with his conservative style in the ring, he said, well, they don't hit you in the head when you're gambling. And also, interestingly, he did not bet on himself in this fight, he said. The odds, which originally were slightly toward him, have shifted toward Taylor in the last couple of weeks.
But Wright said, these odds aren't big enough for me to make a score. It is at odds with some previous practice because I believe he has bet on himself in some previous fights, notably against Felix Trinidad when Trinidad was the favorite. There are empty spots in this arena because local promoters appear to have priced the tickets in some sections too high for the local clientele. But there will still be a big roar as Jermaine Taylor enters the ring. Just just across the border from Arkansas. Lennox, you fought at home in London and had good experiences and bad experiences. What about the distractions of fighting at home?
Well, sometimes it can be a distraction and sometimes it can really help you. I don't think it's going to be a distraction for Jermaine Taylor. I think he's looking forward to fighting with his fans and his fans supporting him down here.
You know, Jim, he is the only major league franchise in the state of Arkansas, but there does seem a real connection between him and the fans that we meet. Many of them may not know a left jab from third base. They really like this kid.
Was he a pretender in his 2 controversial wins over Bernard Hopkins? Or will the combination of last Saturday night and this Saturday night elevate Taylor to somewhere near the top of the sport? Let's take a look at the tail of the tape for Jermaine Taylor against Winky Wright. And one stat stands out. It isn't necessarily the age, although there's a 7-year advantage for Taylor. It is the height. Jermaine Taylor measures at 2.5 inches taller than Winky Wright, but their arm length measures the same from the armpit to the end of the fist. They weighed in within a pound of the 160-pound limit. As they enter the ring, Taylor has gone up overnight to 170, Wright unofficially to 166. Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Jermaine Taylor Winky Wright fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules of the Association of Boxing Commissions. There is no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight. In case the cut is caused by an accidental headbutt, we go to the scorecards after 4 rounds have been completed, and you cannot be saved by the bell at any round, including the 12th and final round. Jim.
We just got a very loud suey pig from the largely Arkansas crowd. Let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the FedEx Forum here in Memphis, Tennessee, where tonight DeBella Entertainment and Gary Shaw Productions are proud to present the main event of the evening, 12 rounds of boxing for the undisputed middleweight championship of the world. Presented in association with Prize Fight Boxing and HBO Sports, sponsored by Nemiroff and Pro Kids, sanctioned by the Tennessee Boxing Commission, Assistant Commissioner Meredith Sullivan, Administrator John Lillard. At ringside, the 3 judges scoring this bout on the 10-point system will be Chuck Jampa, Ray Hawkins, and Melvina Lathan. And when the bell rings, the man inside the ring, in charge of the action, your referee, Frank Garza. And now, for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing gray trimmed with white, official weight 159 pounds, professional record 53 bouts, 50 victories including 25 knockouts with 3 defeats, from St. Petersburg, Florida, the #1 ranked middleweight challenger in the world, the former undisputed light middleweight world champion, Ronald Winky Wright. Fighting out of the red corner, wearing red, official weight 160 pounds. A perfect professional record consisting of 25 bouts, 25 victories, including 17 knockouts. From Little Rock, Arkansas, the reigning, defending, undefeated, undisputed middleweight champion of the world, Jermaine Bad Intentions Taylor.
Okay, gentlemen, we went over the rules in the dressing room. Most of all, I want a good, clean bout, a fair and square bout. May the best man win. Gentlemen, give me your hands. Touch them up. Come out at the bell.
It's been apparent for several years that Jermaine Taylor has star quality. This is the fight to show whether he has star ability.
You ready, Winky? You ready, Jermaine? Barrel!
Round one begins. Will Winky Wright technically shut down Jermaine Taylor with his brilliant defensive plan, or will Taylor physically bust that plan up? They trade jabs. Wright has been more successful with his jab fight by fight in the past, but Taylor's may be longer and heavier. Left hook by Taylor. Wright steps over to the side, hits Taylor right in the chops with a jab. Taylor's jab is onto the guard of Winky Wright. He doesn't necessarily mind that. He told us, I'll hit him in the arms, I'll hit him in the elbows, I'll hit him in the shoulders, anywhere I can do it to break him down round by round.
The first thing that's apparent, Jim, is that Taylor, who has always kept his hands low, is inviting that right jab from Winky.
And he hits Winky with a straight right hand down the pipe. Wright steps in and fires a little hook to the jaw of Taylor. Jab lands for Wright. Taylor hit the first right hand. The second one was blocked. Two more right hands from Taylor. The last two were also blocked. So Wright is effectively blocking Taylor's power shots early. This is one of the reasons, Lennox, that you never went out of your way to fight a southpaw, right?
Absolutely. He's doing a good job protecting himself. I wish Jermaine Taylor keeps his hands up a bit higher right now, especially in the first couple rounds.
Well, I think that one of the things you can do against the Winky Wright is batter him on the arms until he doesn't want to hold him in front of himself like a fortress.
Winky's doing something that, I never really expected him to do. He's stepping right into Jermaine Taylor. He wants to get right in there.
Taylor lands a right hand across the top. Winky grinned a little bit as he wobbled momentarily. Taylor's power might have been evident there. Wright with a short right hook. Taylor missed over the top of the right hand. Comes back with the right hand down the pipe after Winky landed a jab. So far, it's Wright's jab against Taylor's power shots. And of course, when you look at Jermaine Taylor keeping his hands low, keep in mind that he may not fear Wright's punching power. As Larry pointed out, only one KO in the last 12 fights.
It's just a situation where he really just needs to adapt, because obviously these two styles are different and they're just adapting to each other.
Taylor landed a skidding blow to the back of Wright's ear with a left hook. Now Taylor lands a jab down the middle, getting it through Wright's guard. Left hand inside for Wright, right hand for Taylor. Two body shots for Jermaine Taylor. They were instrumental in helping him get through the hard times against Hopkins. Round one comes to a close.
Observers were afraid this would become a defensive battle. It ain't.
Body. All right, let the body and let the left hand go a little more. Gotcha. And you got to run a few more numbers now. 2, 3, 4s, and 5s. Water.
You hear me?
Yeah, you got it. Breathe.
Get back to working your jab a little bit on, but mainly trying to catch it with the Suzy Q roll in the right hand when you shoot that jab. You understand? All right. Don't let it burn yourself out, okay? Look at good.
A very calm Jermaine Taylor corner. Emmanuel Stewart seemingly reasonably pleased with Taylor's aggressive start. CompuBox numbers in round one. Jermaine Taylor 10 out of 64. Wright 14 out of 48. Harold Letterman gave the card to Taylor, a round that could have gone either way because Wright was more accurate, but Taylor seemed to land the heavier shot. Now Wright chases Taylor into the corner and lands a body shot with the right hand. Dan Birmingham asked for more punch variety from Taylor between rounds. Straight right hand down the pipe by Taylor. I said Taylor when I should have said Wright, talking about Birmingham. Uppercut by Taylor. Haven't seen him try that punch that often in the past. Lands a little left hook. Wright sticks him with the right hand. Wright chopping over the top. Both fighters fighting aggressively, Lennox.
Yeah, absolutely. Winky's doing the right thing right now. He's keeping that right hand up and he's stepping forward. He doesn't have too far to go. When it leaves his face, it doesn't have too far to go to Jermaine Taylor.
Both guys are landing. Do you think that Wright is stepping up and staying inside to try to blunt Taylor's power, Lennox?
Absolutely. Taylor needs to keep that distance, and he's not keeping that distance. He's allowing Winky Wright in there. And like I said, Winky Wright's doing the right thing. He's staying close and he's using that jab great.
Wright landed 4 straight jabs with Taylor's hands held too low. Taylor came back and ripped him with a right and a left. Winky Wright stepping forward, closing the distance, trying to keep pressure on Jermaine Taylor. Fascinating way for the smaller fighter to fight, but that's what Winky's been doing ever since the Vargas fight 7 years ago.
But he may be shorter, Jim, but he doesn't think he's smaller. He doesn't think that Taylor is stronger than him the way he's coming straight at Taylor.
Wright lands a long left hand and smiles a little bit. Seems to feel as though things are getting technically easier here in the second round. Wright has landed his jab a good deal in this round. Taylor takes a left hand from Wright and another left hand from Wright. Winky's been very accurate and Taylor kind of blinked as though that hurt him around the eyes. It's been a very accurate round for Winky Wright.
Using that jab very well. This is what he needs to do. He's covering up very well.
Taylor banging away against the guard, gets a right hand in, and another right hand. Left hook came around the back of Wright's head. Wright going to the body twice, backs Taylor up into a corner.
Winky is very effective with that right jab, and he's staying close and he's stepping into it.
Left hand lands flush for Wright. Taylor firing back, but this has been a very good round for Winky Wright. Wright's tactic worked in round 2.
Nice work, Wink. Nice work, Wink. Feint him from the outside a little more. You're not throwing enough feint. Feint him sometimes. Wink, when you jab, that little step back and jab again after he tries to counter you. Jab, when he tries to counter, go back with the jab. Jab, and the left hand. You won that round. You won that round, champ. You won that with your left shoulders when you get into the host.
Are you going to see a good left hand by Winky Wright? 2 different left hands. Here comes another one. Very effective right now. And the reason he got that because he was throwing the jab.
Wright landed 23 punches by CompuBox count in the round. 11 of them were power punches. He was 11 out of 13. Very accurate with his power shots in that round. Jermaine Taylor's landed only 7 out of 52 jabs. And as Lennox Lewis has noted, isn't controlling space effectively enough to keep Wright off of him.
Should he do that by staying away, Lennox, or should he attack Winky and make Winky back up?
No, right now, Winky's coming forward, so he should allow him to come forward and set traps for him. Let him come forward and then set a trap for him and throw a punch.
Much more effective there was Taylor as he landed a body and head combination. Wright landed 1 shot in return, but now it's Taylor who's throwing combinations, and Taylor starts to land power shots. Wright landing in return, that's going to happen. Taylor should be happy to trade with Wright.
On a couple of different occasions, that right hand has landed and it has stopped Winky. I don't think it has hurt him, but it has just stopped him flat.
So Wright's Wright's momentum in round 2 has already been blunted in the first minute of round 3 by Taylor. But now Winky comes back, lands a solid left-hand shot, and Taylor backs off. Comes back with a combination of his own, and another. That was a hard right hand, straight on the face of Wright. 2 body shots by Taylor, working very hard here in round 3. Thrashes Wright with a right hand. Wright misses with his.
See, what Jermaine Taylor's doing wrong right now, he's throwing a punch and dropping his hands. And Winky's taking advantage of that right now.
It's something he's been able to get away with all of his career, but Winky is staying too close to him to allow him to do that.
Wright jams the left hand straight into the face of Taylor. Taylor backs him off with a body shot and steps out of the corner. Wright still very accurate upstairs against Taylor's low-held hands. Uppercut lands for Taylor. And a hard right hand down the pipe. Wright feels the need to come back with his left hand. This is a much better, more offensive, more physical fight than many people anticipated. Winky Wright seems perfectly willing to trade with younger, bigger, supposedly stronger Jermaine Taylor.
It's obvious that Winky Wright came in here with a game plan and he's trying to stick to it right now. He's doing a good job at it right now.
Jab lands for Wright. Taylor thrashes him with a sweeping right. Another combination for Taylor. 4-punch combination. 5-punch combination. Very aggressive round for the Arkansas fighter.
Good and strong. That's what we're gathering on. The strength and power punching going down the stretch. Your body reps are beautiful. When you get inside, do like you to keep pushing it with your left shoulder where he can't catch you on the back. Just keep moving him back when you get inside. Other than that, you're fighting a damn good fight.
That body. Yeah. Breathe, champ. Just relax. Breathe. Relax. You got this guy. You got this guy. I tell you, perfect. Keep the pressure on him, champ. Trust your condition. Keep the pressure on him. Wait. A little step after you punch. Make it a miss. Don't step and then come back in sometime. All right, you're the boss out there.
Round 4. CompuBox numbers through the 3rd round. Taylor 35 out of 172. Wright 58 out of 150. Winky more accurate. Taylor landing the bigger shots. Harold, how do you have it through 3?
Okay, Jim. 2 rounds to 1. 29-28. Ronald Winky Wright. Jim, in the first round, I thought Jermaine Taylor definitely outfought him. But in rounds 2 and 3, Jermaine Taylor's fighting the kind of fight that he's not used to. He's getting backed up. He normally loves to come forward. Winky's backing him up, walking him down, and doing that. Right jab, straight left hand. 2-1, Wright.
Before Wright landed that right jab and straight left hand, Taylor had 2 good combinations in a row in the middle of the ring. When they get to the ropes, Wright seems to have a technical advantage. Taylor bashes away to move him off the ropes. Chopping right hand over the top by Winky Wright. Jermaine Taylor banging away twice with the right hand. 3 times. 4 times. Wright fires a left to the body. Taylor very aggressive upstairs with right crosses and left hooks in this round. Jermaine Taylor has virtually dispensed with his jab, which was regarded throughout his development as one of his key weapons. Here, he's firing power shots. Lennox, should he be jabbing more to try to set him up?
Definitely jabbing more. Manny's telling him the right thing to do, to relax a little bit, but definitely throw a lot more punches.
Maybe he's decided to use that left jab more for defense because he was dropping it and getting hit over it so often.
Right now he's dealing with power shots. He doesn't care about Winky's defense. He's saying he's going to hit him through his arms, on his arms, and through his gloves.
Well, he's landing power shots, perhaps with greater frequency than he might have expected. Wright coming back, trying to use offense as defense at this moment, and putting Jermaine Taylor on the defensive in the corner. Taylor needs to stay out of the corners where Wright lands more punches and blunts his offense. Now he chases Wright back into the center of the ring where he does better. Winky is grinning as if to say, I've got him where I want him. On the other hand, there's swelling under the right eye of Winky Wright. Fast pace for both fighters. Stamina will be a factor down the stretch in this fight. Hard left hand for Wright. Hard right hand for Taylor. And Taylor fires 5 more punches in combination to follow up.
Very effective to the body. How effective will it be as the fight wears on?
Jermaine Taylor extremely aggressive in round 4. Body shots landing. He is blunting Wright's offense as he was unable to do in the second and third rounds.
That's about as bad a round as I've ever seen Winky experience.
And he holds up his hands to the crowd as if to say, I'm the champ.
All of those swollen the tissues and stuff starting to bust loose now. You fight a damn good fight. Just keep pushing the left shoulder when you get inside, okay? Pushing it back. Damn good fight. And he's starting to bust up a little bit now. And you do it good. You let him shoot all of those flurries when they get through.
Guys, come on. Come on, champ. Come on, breathe in. Come on, champ. Come on, man. Look at this kid. You got him backing up. You're scoring 3-1 on this guy. But the last 30 seconds, you got to go to work. Yeah, that's all. He's trying to steal these rounds from you, man. All right? Don't let him outbox him. Then you got to work them 30 seconds. When you
Round 5. Stay in your corner. Round 5.
Copy box numbers in 4. Taylor 16 out of 77. Wright 21 out of 70. Wright has outlanded Taylor all 4 rounds, but Taylor is landing the harder shots. That might have been expected. On Harold Letterman's card so far, the fight is even.
Off his head. Let him go.
Wright's trainer, Dan Birmingham, is on record as saying that for Taylor to win is simply outside the realm of reality. I'm not sure that Winky feels that Taylor is that bad a fighter. There's a hard right hand by Taylor.
You know, people in the boxing world tend to look at fighters and see their mistakes or what they don't do right, instead of, in the case of a young, hungry, athletic kid like Taylor, what he does right to overcome those mistakes.
Harry, I remember something you said about a young heavyweight named Lennox Lewis a long time ago. Sure, he's got chinks in his armor, but look at all that armor. Taylor backs right off again with a power punch after Winky flurried in the corner. This has become a pattern throughout the fight. Wright lets his hands go, backs Taylor into the corner again. Jermaine bangs away with one big shot trying to get out of there.
Off his head.
Lennox, do you think Taylor's punches are beginning to take their toll on Wright? Emmanuel Stewart is hoping for that.
Well, he's doing the right thing. He's coming in with the power punches. Later on, they will be effective because Winky Wright's going to have problems keeping up his hands. But, he's doing the right thing right now.
Wright landed a straight shot upstairs and a body shot. Taylor lands a good right cross on the chops of Wright. Wright feels a need to come back and land a combination. Winks at Jim Lampley as he looks over the shoulder of Jermaine Taylor. It's a Floyd Mayweather move, communicating with the announcers during the fight. Taylor content to bang away against Wright's guard. Taylor actually blocked the right shot there, but now he takes 4 or 5 punches in a row. Has to let his hands go. Try to move Wright back. When Wright punches Taylor into a corner, he lands with accuracy and regularity and makes Jermaine look bad. When they're in the center of the ring, Jermaine gets his offense going.
You see, when you're in that position, Jermaine Taylor should definitely put up his hands because he has no place to back up to right now. So he's really in a dangerous position right now, especially with his hands down in the corner.
Another technician's round, or so it appears.
That was perfect.
Sour fight now.
Here, row, go to work. Just
Keep
like
that
that.
out quitting. Keep doing what you're doing. Now the fight starts, champ.
Nice
now
work,
do what
baby.
you want to do to him.
Nice work, champ. Beautiful.
Dan.
The little rolling right hand as soon as he starts to jab. Okay?
Yes, sir.
What round is coming up? 6th round, oh yeah. We're down on points.
Yes, sir.
We're down on points, we know that, okay?
Yes, sir.
And mainly when you're back in the front.
When Jermaine's against the ropes, this is when Winky's taking advantage of him. Like I said, he has no place to back up to, and hands low, and he's gonna get hit. This is where you have to keep your hands up and definitely get out of the corner.
Why wouldn't he have learned that yet at this stage of his career?
Or at this stage of the fight?
I don't know. I think he still feels comfortable. He feels he's not getting hurt, but he needs to get it going.
30 connects for round 5 for Winky Wright, his high total for the fight, landing 30 out of 60 for 50%. In other words, that was a paint job in that round. Still, Taylor got in 15 power shots. That's part of what he wants to do. Body shot by Taylor. In the center of the ring, it's one fight. Against the ropes, it's a different one. You heard Emanuel Stewart tell Jermaine Taylor, you're behind on points. He didn't seem concerned about it. They believe they're going to wear Winky Wright down. 2 body shots by Taylor. Wright hasn't thrown much here in the 6th after having a big round in the 5th. After his last fight against the gnat-like puncher Sam Solomon from Australia, Wright's face showed the effects. Taylor's a heavier puncher than Solomon by a wide margin. Wright's face is again beginning to show the effects. Taylor has the kind of skin that won't easily reveal damage, similar to a Bernard Hopkins in that regard. Right hand landed for Taylor after 2 shots landed for Wright. Again, center of the ring. Jermaine Taylor can fight him here and do pretty well.
Winky Wright definitely knows his distance, how to keep his distance, and when to throw punches inside the distance.
Taylor got in a combination that backed Wright up. Now Wright crafts him into the corner again, but Taylor gets away.
Taylor has landed some clean punches on Winky, and Winky keeps coming.
They're basically alternating rounds, though, because just as clearly as the last round belonged to Wright, this round belongs to Taylor, who isn't throwing much and is taking shots in the center of the ring. Boom! Big right hand for Taylor. Wright feels a need to fight back, lands 2 shots in return, but that was the biggest punch Jermaine has landed in the fight. See if Wright will try to rally down the stretch of the round. Dan Birmingham told him that he thought Taylor was trying to steal rounds on him.
Off his head, step back, off his head.
And now Taylor fights his way effectively out of the corner as he bangs Wright with a left hook and a right cross before Winky can get anything done. It hasn't been a clinch. It's been a brilliant fight so far. This Tuesday, catch the next installment of Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel. Among the stories, an investigative look at the link between coal power plant pollution and kids who cannot play sports because of their asthma.
Use your legs, my guys. You gotta punch in more combinations, you guys. You gotta work through that line. Come on, guys.
Get in close, get in close, and push it through all the way.
Yes, sir.
Been a beautiful fight.
Had him hurt that bad.
You had him hurt. You be sure that this is the faster pace that he used to go on at too. He's not used to going at this damn pace here. But you're in damn good shape.
Yes, sir.
So all right, let's let that damn right hand go lead it sometime through the summer. Beautiful fight. Okay, let's go.
Well, after the round 6 comeback for Taylor, Emanuel Stewart is happy with the way the fight is going. The second half of the fight begins, You heard Emmanuel talking about the fast pace after I had already lauded both fighters for it. Harold Letterman, how do you have it so far?
You know, Jim, after a great 6th round by Jermaine Taylor and a real good 5th round by Winky Wright, I got it all even. 57-57, 3 rounds apiece. No question, the good conditioning of Jermaine Taylor may take over this.
And the punching power. And he has hurt Wright badly with a right hand in this round. Now Winky lets his hands go again. For a moment there, he was a sitting duck for Taylor's power, and Jermaine took advantage.
Winky's a tough guy.
And he knows when he needs to show that toughness, too. He knows exactly the moments when he has to fight back to allow for psychological get back.
And he's doing the right thing, too. He's staying close to Jermaine Taylor, which is the right thing to do, because he's a better inside fighter right now than Jermaine Taylor. He doesn't want to get hit by his power punches from a distance. It's better to get hit by his power punches from in close.
But Taylor's greater strength seems to be becoming a factor in the fight. His body shots move right. His right hand upstairs, when he lands it, stops right in his tracks. Winky, on the other hand, far better when he can get Taylor to the ropes and in the corner, where he is right now. Taylor going back to that right hand. Vicious body shot. Wright comes back with 3 of his own. The impact of Taylor's shot could be heard around the arena. And now Wright gets him into the corner and begins to bully him again.
Winky Wright's experience factor really shows here. If you look at his feet, it's very balanced compared to Jermaine Taylor. Jermaine's feet are all over the place. Does have a balance problem. Once he gets that sorted, he'll be a better fighter.
What has Dan Birmingham said of Jermaine Taylor? Look, he's an amateur. He's got his feet too wide apart. He's got his chin hanging out over his front foot. He's got his hands down too low. All that's true. He's also 25-0 with 17 knockouts.
And giving Winky Wright all he can handle.
By CompuBox count, Jermaine Taylor has already been hit with more punches in this fight than in any other fight of his career, including 2 12-round rounds with Bernard Hopkins. In other words, having gone the distance in 8 fights, he's never taken as many punches as he's taken in less than 7 rounds from Winky Wright. But he's banging Wright with his right hand and moving him back when he does. This was another big round for Jermaine Taylor's power shots.
When Winky and Jermaine Taylor punch off, all of a sudden, Jermaine Taylor has more power in his punches.
Man is tired. Just keep drilling them hard shots. It's just the way you do them. You understand? Yes, sir. Keep drilling them hard. I believe he's going to start falling apart in the next couple of rounds. He's going to have some great rounds, but you still look strong and you're hitting it good. But I'd like for you to get close and shoot that right hand. Lead through the center, not the 1-2. Get close and drive it right through the center.
Strong jab, more left hand.
8 rounds with 5 more to go.
Gotta work harder. You're breaking him down, you're getting him tired, but he's still strong.
Gotcha. Keep the pressure on him. You can't leave it in the judge's hand. Keep the pressure on him.
Yeah, this is a situation where, they're trading punches. Jermaine throws a great 3-punch combination, and the power is definitely apparent.
According to both corners, we have 2 fighters who are being beaten up.
And wearing the other guy down. And Lennox, your fight in Madison Square Garden against Ray Mercer came down to heart and conditioning. Will this fight come down to heart and conditioning?
Absolutely. You got 2 guys in there that definitely want this fight badly.
Wright drives Taylor into the corner. Taylor got a lazy start in the round. Now he bangs the right cross straight through the middle. That's what Emmanuel Stewart's been asking for. Right hand lead, straight up the gut. It landed 2 times for Taylor, and he followed with a body shot. Wright sticks him with the jab again, nails him in the corner, and begins to go to work. Big rally for Winky. In the center of the ring, Wright is wary of Taylor's power and doesn't throw nearly as often as when he gets him against the ropes. And now Taylor begins to throw his jab after having gone several rounds without using it effectively. Taylor backs into a corner. See if Wright tries to take advantage. Taylor uses his jab, something he hasn't been doing in this position, and blocks a couple of shots, something he has not previously effectively done.
One of the things I notice about Taylor is how relaxed he is compared to the fight with Hopkins. And maybe that comes from his being a champion.
And maybe it comes from the 6 weeks at Kronk with a lot of other fighters who think they're champions.
I think it's Kronk. Definitely gives you that confidence when you're down there. You know, you're boxing against stars, and you're in a club that's got a renowned name, Kronk.
As Emmanuel Stewart said about Kronk, there are no sparring partners here. Everyone here thinks the other guy is his sparring partner. Jermaine Taylor had a rough first few days there, but got through it. Now Winky Wright tries to put him in jail in the corner again and land the punches that have won rounds for him so far in the fight.
I've just counted 11 unanswered punches by Wright.
Well, there's 6 or 7 unanswered by Taylor.
Now Taylor comes back. Can he land the harder ones?
Taylor needs to get off the ropes.
He ducks his shots there.
Not a good position for him.
Hard left hand lands for Wright. Straight down the pipe. Left hook for Jermaine Taylor. Punch saved him a couple times against Hopkins when he appeared to be in trouble. Another left hook lands for Taylor. Winky Wright gets in a little right hook inside. They both made a lot of contact in a fight that was expected to be partially dominated by Wright's technical defensive prowess.
Good round, Wink. Good round. Good round. Good round. Sit down, baby. Sit down. All right, breathe, champ. Come on. Relax. 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 I know he did. You're okay. You're okay.
Keep going to his touch.
You're okay.
Keep doing what you're doing, Wink.
You got to start stepping more. Keep moving your head all the time. Move your head. Move your head. Keep your punch output up. All right?
Yes.
Keep the punch output up.
In hand, because he's wide open after that. You got to try to catch Winky while he's jabbing. It's the best time to catch him. So you try to throw 1-2s, and there not, he kind of blocks him. Try to let him start his jab.
Here we got a clash of heads, whether it was intentional or not. Definitely not intentional. But Winky definitely felt that.
Power punches through the 9th round. Taylor 90 out of 278. Throwing more, landing only 1 more. Wright 89 out of 233. More accurate. Taylor landing the harder shots. Once again, the fight is even on Harold Letterman's scorecard. We go to the 9th round. Who will tire first in the cauldron of pressure here in Memphis?
Okay, off his head. No, none of that. None of that. All right? None of that. All right. Okay. All right. No more of that.
I don't know what the referee is getting so exercised about. I guess he hasn't had enough to do in this fight.
He's had virtually nothing to do. Both fighters seem to be getting a little bit of a rest here to begin the night.
Okay, you're both okay.
Very sportsmanlike. They touch gloves after another near clash of heads.
See, in a situation like this, when Emmanuel speaks to you and he's in the ring when you're sparring, he usually says you have to start it off first. Always start off first. And what he means by that is just start with the jab. You got to start off first. You got to make it look good to the judges.
That's what Taylor's trying to do, but his left eye is beginning to swell shut. So Taylor's vision could be compromised down the stretch out of the left eye. Significant because, of course, that's the lead eye against Wright's jab. And the reason the eye is swelling is Wright's jab. But on the other hand, Jermaine Taylor lands a big right hand there, and a right hand through the guard there. And when he shoots the right hand as a lead without trying to set it up as a jab, he lands it more frequently. Winky goes to the body shots as he gets Jermaine in the corner. Now flurries upstairs, but part of those punches were blocked.
Winky Taylor looks a little bothered.
By his eye.
But also Winky is also puffed up around the eyes. I don't think it's bothering him as much.
No, because his vision isn't compromised. But Jermaine's vision is definitely going to be compromised out of his left eye down the stretch, unless they can get the swelling to stop a little bit. Hard right hand by Taylor. Wright shakes his head. That always means you landed. Good left hook by Taylor. Wright has to come back with a flurry of his own. Winky always knows when Taylor has done something that the judges will like. He tries to answer it right away. Jermaine Taylor's eye is closing very rapidly now. There's no way he can see out of that left eye.
The reason why that eye is closing is because Winky Wright's right jab, that's always effective and that's always getting in there.
But it's causing Jermaine to compete as he lets his hands go for a 5-punch combination. Close round.
You won that round. You won that round. As long as you don't get in the ropes, you're winning the fight. Stay off the ropes. Forget the ropes is when he gets those points. You see him in the center ring, popping, moving in and out, moving in and out, moving in and out. That's the only way you got to win, okay? Pop it in and out. You're winning the fight. You won that round.
Give up shit, Jake. You got the win today.
Keep him out there. You're winning the fight. Keep him out there for your boxing and making him use his legs.
Here we have another headbutt. Okay. It was on that left eye. This is where Jermaine started puffing up, so it was caused by a headbutt.
CompuBox numbers in the 12th. Taylor 12 out of 56. Wright 16 out of 43. You heard Emmanuel Stewart very concertedly telling Taylor that he won the round. Harold, how do you have it through 9?
Okay, Jim. 86, 85, 5 rounds to 4. Ronald, Winky, Wright. Jim, I thought he won rounds 8 and 9. He took the lead in rounds 8 and 9. Jermaine's being bothered by that left eye. I think Winky's punch output is really picked up. He's showing he's in great physical condition. He's the effective aggressor. I think he's winning the fight, but very, very close by 1 round. 5-4, Winky.
Lennox.
I have the same score, by the way.
Why was Emmanuel so concerted in telling Jermaine that he's winning the fight? Was that to keep him from getting discouraged because of the eye?
Absolutely, and I think he told him the right thing to do is definitely stay off the ropes, because when he's on the ropes, that's when Winky's taking advantage of him.
Warning, okay? Don't push down on him. Okay.
All right, that's a second warning against Jermaine Taylor for pushing down on Winky Wright. Reminiscent of the 2 warnings that Lennox Lewis got for that in his fight against Mike Tyson here, June 8, 2002. Taylor firing his right hand and lands it twice. Third big right hand. Wright lands his jab. Taylor comes back with 2 more right hand shots. And another, and an uppercut. Jermaine's bringing the crowd to life in Memphis as he tries for a knockout with a left hook.
Let him go, let him go. Step back.
As long as he stays in the middle of the ring, he's done well, but here he goes back on the ropes.
And puts his gloves up and blocks some of the shots, but takes some others from Winky Wright. Wright throws all the punches when they're on the ropes. Taylor throws the punches in the center of the ring. 3 little body shots for Wright. Taylor backs away, now finds himself in the corner again. Very precarious, and bangs his way out with an uppercut and 2 rights. Now Winky steps in to pressure him again.
Let him go, let him go. Put him out of there. Step back. Step back.
Crowd is chanting JT for Jermaine Taylor.
And he answers them and responds with 2 right hands. Now they go back toward the center of the ring. Now Taylor backs into a corner again. Wright looks for his opportunities. Doesn't throw as freely as he has sometimes in the past. That's because of those big right hands, which are discouraging Wright a little bit in this round. Now Wright goes to work to the body, and Taylor thrashes him upstairs. Wright again to the body.
Let him go.
Good fight, Lennox.
Yeah, absolutely. Both fighters showing great determination. Another headbutt in there. Winky's definitely complaining about it.
And while he complains, Taylor goes to work.
I've never seen Winky Wright's face look like this, and I haven't seen Taylor's face look like this either.
That's correct.
This is definitely a fight.
So you've discovered that, eh, Lennox?
Another right hand backs right off. Big round for Taylor.
You won the round. Give it ice. Give it ice. You won that round, okay? Give him some water, Frank. Get the mouthpiece out. As long as you keep this man in the center of the ring, you're beating him. He only beats you when you go back and take your break in the ropes, okay? When you get inside, just push him back in. Don't take no breaks. You're winning this round fight now. And keep him in the center of the ring. His legs are not that good, but when you go to the ropes, it's when you get beat. Keep him in short.
You're letting them work too much. Use your legs. When you're in close, you got to punch in combinations. Come on, baby. You got to go 4, 5, 6 at a time, Wink.
Gotcha.
Just like you did in the corner. You got to do that 3, 4 times.
Gotcha.
Come on, let it go.
We need these.
Both fighters know that the fight is up for grabs. Both trainers are aware. Heart and conditioning. Who will have the most down the stretch? 6 minutes to go.
The championship rounds.
And Harold Letterman agreed with me that Taylor won the last round, so it's dead even on his card. They bang heads again. You heard Dan Birmingham saying, Winky, you've got to throw 4 and 5 punch combinations. In the last round, it was Taylor who did that. Taylor with a thoroughly closed left eye.
Of course, we remember
and again they bang heads.
Remember in the first fight between Taylor and Hopkins, Taylor had that bad cut on the head from the butt, and he survived that. So he's been through adversity before.
He has courage.
This is where Jermaine Taylor doesn't want to be on the ropes. He needs to get off the ropes because this is where Winky Wright has the advantage.
And he gets off the ropes with an uppercut and a right hand. Increasingly in the late rounds, Taylor's been able to fight his way off the ropes simply by backing right up with his power. Now blood begins to stream from the right nostril of Jermaine Taylor. No way to know at this moment whether it came from a right punch or when they banged against each other, but probably Winky did it with a left hand. Hard right hand over the top for Jermaine. Both fighters tiring. Right hits Taylor right on the swelling left eye. Wright much more wary of attacking Taylor now when he's in the corner. Not nearly as aggressive as he was in the early rounds.
Winky had that very unusual style of coming forward behind his gloves. And what makes it unusual, like all other fighters who have tried it, is that he's not a power puncher.
And twice in the center of the ring again, Taylor busted him with power punches, a left and a right. Now out of the corner, can Taylor get something done? Body shots and an uppercut give him some space, and he gets away, though Wright scored with a combination.
See, there's that balance again by Taylor. Taylor has to definitely keep his feet under him. Very important.
An opportunity for Wright to rally in the corner. Round is up for grabs. Taylor threatens Wright with a right hand. Winky dances across the ring. They're back to the center of the ring. Last 20 seconds.
Wright showing some of the old style Wright, the hit and move Wright. He's not just coming forward anymore, just trying to win the round.
And this round was pretty close. Not an easy one to score. We'll go to the 12th.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. If we win this next round, we got this fight, baby. Wink. Use your legs like you did. You step back, he's not coming after you. Go in, go out, okay? Ronald Wright.
All right? Out around. You got to go. He got a little flurry on you right there, and you didn't get it back. It might have cost you the fight. You got to get out and win this last round. Talk to yourself. Just let yourself get them punches go. You understand? Keep it in the center ring. You don't never get beat until you go back in there in the corner. Stay in the center.
You got this guy, Wink. You got to fight with your fucking heart now. Let's go.
Yeah, you got to just keep it in the center of the ring.
CompuBox numbers in 11. Taylor 12 out of 53, Wright 14 out of 49. Try to pick a winner. Through the 11th round, Taylor has thrown more, Wright has landed more, Taylor has landed harder shots. What a fight. We got 3 minutes to go. You heard Emmanuel Stewart begging his fighter, stay off the ropes, but a mentally tired Jermaine Taylor went into the corner. Now he fights his way out. Wright seems to be trying to pick his spots. Home crowd will erupt if Taylor can do something to get him into it. Right now it's a war of nerves.
It should be a war of fists for Taylor. He's got to come back. Why he is backing off now mystifies me.
Probably because he can't see out of his left eye.
Well, he can see out of the left eye tomorrow. He's got one more round to go. Winky is also now boxing more, as we can see.
More movement from Wright than has been the case at any other time all night. Realizing he's got a problem in the center of the ring, he throws in another wrinkle to make it more difficult for Taylor. Now Taylor has trouble reaching Wright. Connect percentage is going way down as Winky tries to put it in the deep freeze.
Winky right now, he's just switching up the game on him. He's moving his feet, he's making Jermaine come after him, he's daring him to come after him. He's basically trying to win this round. Showing him a different movement right now, in and out, just in and out. He realizes...
Confusing Taylor, who's not throwing.
He realizes Taylor's not good on his feet right now, which he should be, but it definitely needs to get in there.
1 minute to go, and this minute may decide whether Jermaine Taylor can hold on to the middleweight championship or whether Winky Wright's going to take it away. And now Taylor goes to work and bangs hard shots off of Winky Wright's dome. Wright gets him into a corner and tries to stage his own rally.
There you go, step back, both of you.
Can Winky win this round fighting like this, Lennox?
As long as he doesn't get hit and he gets through with some good shots. But I think he needs to really step in there. He needs to get Jermaine Taylor on the ropes.
And he did, and Taylor backed him off with a hard right hand. 20 seconds to go in the fight. It may still be on the table.
Can you win the 12th round just on defense? Can you win the middleweight championship of the world by doing what Winky is doing now?
Winky feels that he has this fight in the bag, but I think that's a mistake right now. You need to win that, make sure you win that last round like his corner said.
I think he just gave Taylor the 12th round.
If he gave Taylor the 12th round, the way Oscar De La Hoya gave away the late rounds to Trinidad, this fight could wind up a draw.
And the way Pernell Whitaker gave away the 12th round to Oscar De La Hoya in what became a close loss.
I think it's a situation where he feels he has the fight won, doesn't want to make any mistakes out there, and he just wants to go get through the last round.
That's the cautious Winky. We'll see if the cautious, smart Winky was better than the Winky who fought harder in the early rounds.
I believe his corner was asking him to fight in the 12th round. But we shall see whether it worked. Harold Letterman has a draw. But remember, we are in Memphis, just across the river from Arkansas. We have a loud crowd entirely for Jermaine Taylor. So can these judges go against the local grain and score the fight for the boxer as opposed to the puncher? Chuck Jampa, a terrific professional judge from Las Vegas with much experience, one of the judges who preferred Jermaine Taylor to Bernard Hopkins.
Right here.
Ray Hawkins from Texas had Juan Diaz the winner over Lakbasim. Not a difficult fight to score. And New York's Melvina Lathan, who has had considerable title fight experience, but not in this particular environment. There were many difficult rounds to score in the fight.
Very close rounds.
And because of contrasting styles, you can make an argument for either fighter depending on whether you prefer the precise boxer or the harder puncher.
I wouldn't be surprised if they fight again, because this was a great fight.
It was wildly entertaining.
Yes, and you know, as far as how different the betting system was, you know, I think it was pretty even. They should have made the betting even on this fight.
Well, it was more or less a pick 'em fight by the time it went off. Winky Wright was a heavy favorite when first the fight was set, and then as the fight approached, more and more bettors turned their attention to Taylor and what he had accomplished against Hopkins, who looked so good last week.
And Jermaine Taylor's eye was because of a butt.
Spine-tingling suspense down the stretch. So that's another good reason for a rematch if, in fact, Taylor is the loser, is because his eye was swollen up from what you say was a headbutt. Michael Buffer stands above me, and he's ready with the numbers. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the scorecards. Chuck Jampa scores the bout. 115-113 for Taylor. Ray Hopkins scores it. 115-113 for Wright. Melvina Lathan scores the bout. 114-114. A three-way split. This bout is a draw. Jermaine Taylor retains his middleweight championship.
There's another reason, Lennox, for us to see it again, right?
Absolutely. I wouldn't mind seeing this fight again.
Incidentally, 2 of 3 judges gave the last round to Taylor. So the judge who gave the last round to Winky Wright, and that would be Ray Hawkins, the Texas judge, is the one who, in effect, created the draw. Ray Hawkins apparently appreciates defense and ring generalship, and gave Winky Wright the 12th round, a round in which Wright didn't mount an offense. But nobody can argue with a draw in this fight, I don't think. Both fighters made their statements. Apparently Winky Wright wants to argue with the draw because he's upset and has left the ring. The marks on his face suggesting that Taylor was certainly in the fight somewhere. Final CompuBox numbers. And the pattern was set throughout the fight. Wright landed more. Taylor threw more. Wright landed at the higher connect percentage. Hidden in these numbers, the other factor, Taylor landed the harder blows. Power shots. Taylor threw more, 87 more. They landed about the same number. Wright landing at the higher connect percentage. Not much to choose there. And Larry Merchant stands by with the one fighter who's still in the ring, Jermaine Taylor.
Thank you very much, Jim. I'm not sure, I usually say congratulations, champ. You are still the champ.
Yes, sir.
Should you be congratulated on this fight?
It's always something with me, ain't it, Larry? It's always something. Man, Larry, I give it up to Winky Wright. He's a great fighter. He threw his punches in bunches. He came with it tonight. I got to give it to him.
What gave you the most trouble from Winky tonight? It looked like his right jab over your low left was the difference for him.
Exactly. It was his jab. He had a great jab. I mean, I didn't think his jab was that fast, and he worked it. Like, he showed me that he has a great jab.
How bad was the eye?
In the later rounds, started getting real bad to where I can't see. Especially that last round, I really couldn't see much anything. But he was running like he had the fight won, and I stayed trying to get him. I'm sorry.
I'll get back to that in a minute.
Yes, sir.
Did you think you had hurt him at any time in the fight?
I thought I landed a couple of good punches, but if I did hurt him, he played it off well. He played off real good.
Why did you spend so much time on the ropes when in the middle of the ring you were clearly winning the fight?
He didn't have much power, and then I was going to try to try to time him and come back. Every time he hit me, I was going to try to come back with something. He's so fast, I couldn't even get it off. But I know next time, just stay in the middle of the ring. I was clearly wanting to fight in the middle of the ring, and Manny, he kept telling me, stay off the ropes, stay off the ropes. I don't know, I just...
Tell me at the end of the night what Emmanuel Stewart did for you that helped you retain your title.
All the training, just all the hard work, and just pressure, and just by being at the Crunk Gym. You know, I thank all those guys at the Crunk Gym for just motivating me. I felt it when I was in there.
When you saw him start to box and move in the 12th round, what went through your mind?
I was like, what is he doing? I mean, he winning on the flurries. Go ahead and fight me. I mean, he clearly throwing straight punches, just catching me. If I was him, I just would have kept fighting. That's the difference between us.
Do you think, since this fight was a draw, that he blew the fight in the 12th round, apparently thinking he had it won already?
I felt like if he wanted the title so bad, he should have fought all 12 rounds, because that's what I would have did. That's what I did. I fought all 12 rounds. I didn't get in there running them last rounds thinking I had to fight one. You know, I feel like it's a boxing match. You got to fight all 12 rounds.
All right, there was a rematch clause in the contract.
Yes, sir.
If you would have lost, there would have been a rematch. This was a good, bristling action fight. You retain your title with a draw. Do you now think there should be a rematch?
I will fight Winky Wright again. Yes, sir, I would. Just to let everybody know. Man, I'm a fighter. You know, I don't control what nobody say, what nobody do. I'm a fight. That's what I come to do. I may not do it like you want me to do it, but I'm going to fight, baby. I'm going to fight all 12 rounds. I promise you that.
You did. Congratulations, then.
Thank you so much, Larry.
Back to you, Jim.
All right, well, it was a terrific battle here in Memphis, and it winds up in a draw. But unlike the Hasim Rahman James Toney draw, which was so dissatisfying, this one, Lennox, we walk away from with memories of having seen some terrific combat.
Absolutely. Both boxers boxed great. You know, Jermaine Taylor boxed good in the center of the ring. Definitely was losing when it came to him being on the ring side. But Winky Wright seemed like he was throwing a better jab than Jermaine Taylor. I hope next fight's going to be probably a different fight, because both of them are going to look at the tape and realize they need to do a couple things to adjust in there. So I assume we're going to see a better fight next time.
It looked as though perhaps Wright could have won the fight had he been willing to let his hands go a little bit more in the last few rounds of the fight. Was that because of fatigue, or was that because of the damage Taylor had managed to do?
I felt that he had the fight won, but you know, you don't want to never let it go to the judges' hands. You have to make these your judges and definitely go out there and win the last round. The last round is so important to a boxer that they have to always make sure they win that last round.
All right, let's take a look at the judges' scorecards. And incidentally, Larry Merchant at this moment has gone to the dressing room to seek an interview with Winky Wright and see if we can find out what Wright has to say about the draw in this middleweight championship fight. Chuck Jampa of Nevada once again scoring 115-113 for Taylor, as he did in Taylor's second victory over Bernard Hopkins last year. Ray Hawkins of Texas is the man who gave the 12th round to Winky Wright and thus created the draw, because if his scorecard, well, actually, it would have been a draw either way. If he doesn't give the 12th round to Wright and calls it even, that would have made it a draw. If he had given it to Taylor, however, he would have turned the fight around in Taylor's direction, and it would have been a split decision victory for Taylor. Malvina Lathan doesn't figure in this because her scorecard, identical to that of Harold Letterman, had the fight a draw 114-114. If you're right, do you want to go fight Taylor again?
Absolutely. I mean, this is a fight that, you know, when it's a draw, everybody wants to see who's going to win the fight. And the fact that we had a great fight today, that just means the second fight's going to be even greater.
3 or 4 months from now, if it were to take place, Taylor would have had a much longer tour of duty with your former trainer, Emmanuel Stewart. Would that make a difference?
That'll make a big difference, because I'm sure Emmanuel sees a lot of things I've seen in there, definitely with a balance situation and getting hit with jabs when he shouldn't have got hit with jabs.
Incidentally, the middleweight division is populated with a fair number of good fighters now. Not the case during Bernard Hopkins' long reign, when Hopkins so blocked out the sun that it was difficult to find quality contenders against him. But now you have Felix Sturm in Germany, who has a title belt, Arthur Abraham in Germany, who has a title belt. Both of them very good fighters. Either would make an interesting opponent for Wright or Taylor. And now Larry Merchant stands by. He's ready with Winky Wright.
Thank you, Jim. Winky, Why did you flee the ring right after the result was announced?
Another Vargas. You know what I mean? I came to his hometown. I showed everybody that I'm the champ. You know, I won that fight. Jermaine threw some big shots, but I was picking them off. I'm catching them with the clear shots, his head bouncing back. It's crazy.
At the end of the fight, when the decision was announced, you stood up like you thought that they had announced it for you. Did you just mishear that?
No. We knew once they said 115, 113 for him, 115, 113 for me, I knew it was a draw, but they left me up anyway. But, you know, that's the game.
One of the mistakes a fighter can make is judging the fight himself. You were told by your corner to go out and fight in the last 12th round, and you decided to stay away and box. Did you throw away the championship?
12th round, he didn't do nothing. You know, if I didn't do nothing, he didn't do nothing. So how did he win?
Why did you revert to your old style in the 12th round? Because you thought you won?
Yeah, I knew I was winning. They like I said, you know, I'm in his hometown. They gave him what he wanted, you know what I mean? But I proved to everybody I go anywhere, fight anybody, and, you know, the fans saw who won that fight.
There was a rematch clause in the contract. Of course, it depended on your winning the fight. Do you think you'll get a rematch now?
I don't want no rematch. You know what I mean? If I got to come here and get this decision, you know, so be it. You know, I told y'all I fight the best. I fight anybody, anywhere. So the fans saw who won that fight. You know, the judges, they do what they do.
So if you don't want a rematch, are you saying you don't want to fight anymore?
Oh, I definitely want to fight. It's other fights out there, you know what I mean? And I'm going to go get them. So whoever saw this fight and want to fight, step up to the plate. Anybody.
Thank you very much, Winky. Jim?
If you have an opinion on who won the fight, by the way, log on to hbo.com/boxing, and we will offer you the opportunity to voice your opinion as to who won the fight. It'll be fascinating in the next few days to see what is your opinion. Was the winner Jermaine Taylor? Or, as Winky Wright just insisted, was he the justifiable winner of the bout? Or was it a draw? In my mind, nothing much was proven here tonight, except that two terrific fighters with very differing styles were willing to go at each other aggressively for 12 rounds and produce great entertainment. And if Winky Wright doesn't want to do it again, that's too bad. Would have been fun. But they both move on to bigger things from here because neither's reputation should have been diminished by what you saw. Thanks very much for being with us on this special edition of HBO's Catch the next installment of Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel. Among the stories, an investigative look at the link between coal power plant pollution and kids who can't play sports because of asthma. And next Saturday, a special pugilistic night on HBO. First, the Ron Howard movie Cinderella Man starring Russell Crowe. Then live action on Boxing After Dark. Heavyweight Cal Brock, unbeaten from the United States, takes on Timur Ibragimov, unbeaten. And super prospect Joel Julio, you must see him. He's unbeaten. Faces Carlos Quintana, who's unbeaten on Boxing After Dark next Saturday night. Next on HBO, stay tuned for Entourage on the East Coast and the premiere of Madagascar on the West Coast. And now for our entire HBO crew, I'm Jim Lampley, saying so long from the soulful city of Memphis, Tennessee.
This has been a presentation of HBO Sports.
Boxing After Dark is back and badder than ever.
They trade shots in the center of the ring.
When four fighters put their perfect records up for grabs, some bad things are gonna go down.
It's a wipeout.
Top 10 heavyweight contender Calvin Brock has made quick work of all who've crossed his path.
He's out.
Now he faces rugged opposition in the form